So, Phil recruited me to sell these cards, and now I am recruiting you.
Who is this guy again?
Don't worry about Phil. He drives a Corvette. He is doing just fine.
Hi guys. I am like fighting with technology as always. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm on my wireless mic. As you can tell, I'm not live on location. I'm also streaming from my laptop. I don't have a camera. This is like the most chaotic energy I have brought to the internet in a while. Is like my mouth even lining up with what I'm saying? Because it looks like it's not even lining up with what I'm saying. So somebody please send help. How's everybody doing? Okay, let me see. Monica says, something tells me this is going to be wild. We're adding witchcraft as a way to get rich. Yes, we are. I am happy to be here. Okay, sorry. I was trying to, as always, share this on Instagram. And my phone is being so stupid. Okay, so let's see. What do we got? Are you in your holiday house being a billionaire and all? I wish. I'm in Pablo's office. We have a guest, a friend staying with us. So I have been banished out of my home because despite being, or my office rather, despite being so rich, I have to share my office as the guest room. I think today's stream should be interesting. I'm just quickly going through the comments. I see Aaron says, I hate when scammers give witches a bad name. I think this is going to be interesting because many of you who have been here a while know that, like, I personally don't really any longer. Anyway, I used to. I definitely don't subscribe to, like, the manifestation side of things or really, like, the witchcraft kind of stuff. So this might be a little bit polarizing for some of you, I'm warning you. But I'm very interested to see, nonetheless, how this woman approaches this content. Somebody, I don't even know how this ended up in my inbox. I guess I somehow signed up for this woman's newsletter. And so anyway, I was scrolling through my email this morning and I came across this and I was like, huh, this is interesting. Let's all get together and watch it together. So I haven't looked at it at all. I have no idea, no concept of like how woo-woo this is gonna be. But it should be interesting nonetheless. I'm sorry, my phone is just being so slow. It won't load anything. I don't know if it's because Pablo's office is like, it's in our condo obviously, but it's like off the front of the condo. So I just don't know if like the Wi-Fi is bad out here. Like, how is my connection? Can someone please tell me? Can you hear me okay? Chaotic energy, it seems tame on my end. Okay, good. At least you aren't streaming like from your bathtub. Exactly. Nick! Oh my God, hi, if you're still here. Everyone go subscribe to Nick's channel right this second for everything interior design. I have been watching Nick for many years now, and we got to meet last week, which was super exciting. So welcome, welcome. I was just scammed out of a huge amount of money by a witch. I'm curious to see what you cover in this video. Maybe Justina, maybe you're the one that sent me this woman, because I have no idea how she even ended up on my radar. When I saw her email, or yeah, her email today, I was like, this name is not familiar. I don't know who this is, but we're gonna find out. Okay, I think I got the link to work. So we're just going to share that to Instagram and then we'll get right into the content. So I actually downloaded she's doing like a Facebook Live series right now, and I downloaded 2 of those, which we are going to watch at least one. They're each like 45 minutes. So we'll see how far we get. If we want to watch 2, I got nothing but time, let's be honest. So we could probably figure that out too. You may not remember signing up for the newsletter, but Jane Doe does. You know what? That Jane Doe gets up to a lot of ridiculous nonsense, let's be honest, so I blame her for sure. Okay, Marielle says, I love Nick. Yes, we all love Nick. Nick is great. Go subscribe to his channel if you're not already. Okay, thank you, Natasha. And if my mic dies at some point, just spam the chat that you can't hear me. I have like an old microphone here, but I don't have the cord for it. So we're not going to be using that. We're just going to hope for the best. We thrive on chaos here. So let's go ahead and see. So I don't even remember this woman's name now, to be honest. But I'll go ahead and share my screen. And we can jump into what's up. Bubba is here. I just, again, don't have the connection to turn on the Bubba cam. Let's see if I can do this without knocking all my stuff over. He's on the floor. That's not him, that's a backpack, but you get the idea. If you're catching the replay, sorry. Let me pull the chat up on the screen. And let's get into it. So I actually should have written down the title for this. Whatever is written in the description of this video on YouTube is what this video is about. Essentially, she is claiming to teach us how to create wealth through casting spells, because being wealthy is our birthright. So do with that information what you will as we go ahead and listen to part 1 of the series. Okay, let's see. Already I'm gonna speed it up because you guys know me. I cannot listen to anything at normal speed. And let's give it a listen.
Welcome to episode 1 of Witch and Grow Rich TV. I'm
How is the volume? It sounds kind of quiet to me, but I just don't know if it's because I have different headphones on.
so excited for this new TV show, series, what should we call it? I can't see who's on. I'm just going to move my little, I had a little light that's just not really doing much actually. So I'm going to move that and then I can see when people are getting logged in. Now please tell me as you're getting logged in if the music is a little bit distracting and you want me to turn it down a little bit, then let me know. I want to make sure you can hear everything clearly, but I do like a little bit of background noise. Let's see when people start to find. Hello Bex, good morning. Yeah, say hi when you're getting logged in everyone so I know who's there. And you'll see me looking down a little bit because I'm just checking I can see comments on a different screen, because sometimes you can't always see them in the comment section when you're live. Sometimes it gets a bit glitchy and doesn't let you see the comments, and I wanted to make sure that I could see them all because I'm going to be asking you to interact throughout the series starting today. So I'm going to give it, hello Sharon, good morning. I'm going to give it just a couple of seconds and we're going to dive in because I've got so much to share with you today and I'm so excited.
Okay, I maxed the volume out, so let me know if it's any better.
To do it. Good morning Chrissy, good morning Ellis. It's so nice to see some familiar faces, but equally it's also lovely to see new faces. Hey Teresa, good morning my love. So if you're a newbie in my world and we don't know each other very well, then
okay, James is saying he can't hear it at all. Can you guys hear it or not? Volume is better. That's as loud as I can make it, so hopefully it's okay. I'm just thank you. Gonna switch to my headphones.
and let me know in the comments by giving me a hashtag newbie. And if you're an old timer or an old friend, whatever you'd rather call yourself, then give me a hashtag old friend so I know. And I do like to get to know everyone personally and intimately because this is for you. So let me just start by sharing with you who I am and what this is all about. So my name is Michelle Stonhill. Witchy entrepreneurs, and you may or may not resonate with the word witch, and it's fine. Like, it's absolutely fine whether you do or you don't. We're not going to get hung up on words. Good morning Kelly, how you doing?
Okay, I'm sorry. I have to pause it. I can't. This live stream is chaos and I appreciate everyone's patience. Oh, I forgot these headphones have a really stupid feature. Okay, do you guys hear the music in the background, or is that me? I'm like, is she going live while she's also listening to the radio? Because that's what it sounds like. Okay, you guys can't hear it at all. Perfect. I love that for us. Okay. Hold on a second while I figure this out. Like if I...
What does she know? Good morning, Martha. How are you, my love? So, number one.
I give up. I give up, guys. Okay, can you hear it now?
Like, it's absolutely fine whether you do or you don't. We're not going to get hung up on words. Good morning, Kelly. How you doing, my love? Are we new friends or old friends? I'm not sure, so let me know. Yeah, don't get caught up on the word. Look, what this is about, it's about me supporting you because I
You're back.
want you
Okay.
to be wealthy, whether you resonate with the word witch or not.
Okay, so do you guys hear the radio in the background? Is she listening to the radio while she's doing this? Because that's what it sounds like to me.
You might call yourself spiritual, a spiritual entrepreneur, a bit of a woo-woo entrepreneur, or maybe you're just curious, like spiritually curious and not quite sure why you're here but felt drawn to it, and it's totally cool either way. The reason I want to help you with money and wealth is because I want to put the money into the hands of good people that are going to do good with it in the world. That's my big mission. What makes me qualified to do it, you might ask? If we've never met before and you're like, well, who is she? What does she know? Good morning, Martha. How are you, my love? So, number one, I've done it. And I think that's a big thing for me, is that I'm never sharing from the position of a degree or study or education necessarily. Don't get me wrong.
I never share from actual legitimate qualifications. I actually share from the library of, I did it once, therefore you can do it too. So if you want to know what makes me credentialed to be a surgeon, one time I found a scalpel and I cut my arm open, and now I'm a doctor because I did it once. So that makes me qualified. So in case you guys were wondering what makes me qualified to be a doctor, now you know. I also am going to be teaching people how to get to 28,000 subscribers on YouTube in my new course called How to Get 28,000 Subscribers on YouTube, because I have 28,000 subscribers. So that's my qualification. Okay, have a great day.
Some of that has gone into it as well, but I'm sharing from the position of a witchy woman who combines magic and strategy and has built a business up to millionaire level from scratch with no experience and didn't know what the hell I was doing starting out. And it feels like 5 minutes ago that I was setting goals thinking, oh my God, can I really, is that possible for me? Should I be setting these goals? Is it kind of improper somehow to want to be wealthy? So I've had all the thoughts that you're probably having. I've had all the challenges that you're probably experiencing. So these live series every Wednesday are about me really opening my heart, my knowledge, my experience, and all the things to you so that you can learn and not have to pay a penny for it. So if that's floats your boat and that's up your street a little bit, then you're going to want to catch these, and they're every Wednesday at 11 o'clock. And then sometimes I do really big events as well. So what I'm known for, if you like, is the Wake Your Witch experience, which is a 6-month intimate mentorship for entrepreneurial minded witches or spiritual women that want to create wealth and want me to hold their hand in the process. But that's not for everyone. So I love to do events that are free. Sometimes they're really big events. Our last event, hey Lisa, how you doing, my love? Our last event was, when was it? A little over four or five weeks ago. And there was 2,500 people there, which is just insane. Good morning, Amanda, how you doing? I'm looking tanned. Oh, thank you. Just not long back from Madeira, so that was nice and sunny. And yeah, so that was a wild event. So when you see me advertise big events, you're going to want to get your seat for that. They're always online, they're always free, and there's always something different and new for you to get your teeth into that's going to grow you and see you on that kind of trajectory of becoming a wealthy witch. But I also like to give some things away to say thank you, because there's so many of you, like familiar names I can see popping up, and like I said, some new ones. And you showing up for you is not just you showing up for you today to learn, it's you showing up for the planet, because when you progress towards being a wealthy witch, you also progress in tipping the balance. It's like an act of rebellion to say that, yes, I resonate with that word witch, and yes, I'm going to become wealthy, and I'm going to let people hear my voice, and I'm going to step into my power, and I'm not going to be scared, and I'm not going to, that is an act of...
Yeah, I want to draw this comment to attention. Hillary says, I love how they have to subtly diss formal education to justify the fact that they don't have any. I see this a lot in like the girl boss business coaching space of like, why go to college and get a degree when you could just become a coach based on your life experience? Code because I didn't go get a degree. So I need to make myself feel better about that and feel like it's not holding me back from being able to be successful. Therefore, nobody needs a college degree, because if I didn't need one, you definitely don't need one either. Because what is true for me is true for thee, even if it's not actually.
Of rebellion in itself. And when other women see you doing that, they go, ooh, it stirs something in them. It's like a remembrance of like, okay, I am pretty powerful. There's magic in me. Hold on a minute, that rings true. I think there's more than just this physical. I think I'm capable of a lot more. I can feel it stirring in me. You're part of that when you show up here. Now, what makes that even more special is if you decide to share these series with someone. So if you tag a friend, if you share this, if you do that, by the way, please comment and tell me that you shared it, because I like to give away little things to say thank you.
This is like any of you that watch MLM content or anti-MLM content, they always make fun of how the Huns are like in the chat being like, comment to number 1 if you're having a good time. And that's the same vibes as this, as like, share it with all your friends, but make sure you write in the chat that you share it with all your friends. Hey guys, copy this YouTube live stream link onto somewhere on the internet, or send it to your friend, and then let me know in the live chat that you shared it, because I want to boost myself in the algorithm. But it's only like if you know that that's what they're doing, then you realize. But I feel like if you're the person watching it and you're actually like interested in what she's saying, you kind of like idolize her, you think like, oh, I'm just engaging with her. But really it's kind of her secret way of getting more attention on her content.
So one of the things I'm going to be sharing with you, giving away, which I found recently and I just love them, is these 2025 witchy calendars. Now the reason I love this is because it's a really quick glance at what's coming up, what do I need to be aware of? Because a big part of being a witchy entrepreneur is knowing when to tune into energy, when to go within and kind of sit with our feelings and work out what we're being guided to do, and how am I guided? You know, what does that guidance feel like? A big part of it is about strategy and taking action and having really tangible physical steps. And sometimes it feels like a minefield, because it's like, well, what's the moon doing? Oh, is it solstice? Oh, is it, what's that? What, retrograde what? So everyone's like really confused sometimes by all the things that you feel like you have to know. And it really doesn't need to be confusing. So I like to make things really simple for people so that you can integrate it and weave it into your life really easily. Having a little calendar that you can refer to and go, oh, that's what that is. And then having me at the end of the screen to go, and that's what that means, and this is what we do with that energy.
Okay, I just want to say, and this is rich coming from me because I always take 15 minutes to get to the point. We're 7 minutes into this video. And again, this is supposed to be a live training teaching us how to just cast spells to get rich. We're 7 minutes in, almost, I don't know the math on that, 1/6 of the training, and we haven't learned a single thing yet. Why is she wasting so much time just yapping about her live streams instead of actually teaching me something? In my defense, when you guys come here, you're coming here to listen to me yap. So if I take 20 minutes to get to the point, you should expect that. But if I'm coming for a training, a live training once a week, you should be training me. You shouldn't just be yapping about how you go live and how I should share it with all my friends. Like, what point have we made so far?
Can be really, really useful. So I'm going to be giving some of those away. So please tell me if you've shared, and interact, because I like to give to people that really contribute to the community. This is a community. This is a sisterhood that we're fostering. So please say hi. Let me know who you are. Let me know you're watching. Don't be like a silent little stalker, which is like me, by the way. I do silently stalk. I very rarely comment. I just kind of sit on the sidelines watching, cheerleading even, but I don't actually sometimes think to comment, or I'm busy multitasking when I'm watching something. So don't be like me. Comment, get involved, and I'll send you stuff to say thank you for doing it, basically. Right, so let's dive in. I've got some notes here of what I want to share with you because it's juicy stuff. So the first thing I just want to say is, look, I want to know, if you don't mind, I want some feedback from you. I'd like you to tell me something. Can you find, in your emojis, can you find the witch emoji for me? Hey, Silent Stalker Claire. Nice of you.
Hey guys, I was wondering if in your emojis you could find the poop emoji for me and put it in the chat, because this is bullshit.
You need to join us. I love that you just like outed yourself straight away. So if you can find your witchy emoji and the money emoji, because we're going to be using them, not just this week, but every week, because the series is about becoming a wealthy witch. So of course we are. Now, I just want to share with you though what it means to be a witch, because I know some of you are like, I don't digest that word very easily, and I haven't necessarily reclaimed that word as my own. I don't know if I resonate with it. I've got some stuff when I say it, like, you know, or you might completely reject it, or it doesn't really matter. Like, as I said, we're not going to get hung up on words. But what does it mean to be a witchy entrepreneur? So, because some of you won't resonate with the word entrepreneur either. Some of you will be like, I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them. I've worked with some really successful women, like women that I've mentored that have achieved beyond what I've achieved, you know, millions, 1 million a month. You know, one launch we did was 1 million in 10 days, and she was a deeply spiritual one with a real spiritual business. And she still didn't resonate with the word entrepreneur after that sort of outstanding success. And that's because sometimes words just don't quite carry the meaning for one person that they maybe do another. And then there can be some worthiness and stuff in there. Thank you for finding the emojis. I can see them all coming through. So, look, witch, what do I mean by
Yeah, thanks guys for all those poop emojis. I can see them coming through.
that? If you are someone that believes that there is more than just physical, that everything's energy, and we have the ability to harness energy to create the reality, and we're the creator. If you believe that it's not just all about the physical steps you take, but it's also about the energetic moves that you make, then you're a witch, in my book. But if you don't have to love that word, and that's okay too. But that's what I mean by witchy entrepreneur. So I just wanted to clear that up straight off the bat. The reason I've asked you to find these emojis, I would like to know if any of you have already claimed that word witch. Maybe not publicly, maybe not to some friends and family, but just secretly gone, yeah, I'm that. I know I'm that. And if you have, I want you to just give me the witch emoji now so that I know you have. I'd also like you to put the money emoji next to it if you're a witchy entrepreneur. And what I mean by entrepreneur, just for clarity, is that you kind of like money. You like...
Okay, so we've spent the first quarter of the video engagement farming, encouraging people to share the link, encouraging people to drop emojis, and we've defined what she defines as a witch, a witchy entrepreneur. That's it. That's all we've done. Just to catch anyone up to speed who's just jumping on.
To make money, and you want to make your own money. You don't love working for someone else, even if you've never run a successful business before. That's what I class as witchy entrepreneur. So give me a witch if you resonate with the witchy stuff, give me money if you resonate with the money stuff, and give me both if you class yourself as both. Okay, got it. So I can see you. Even if you're watching on replay, please, please, please do all this with me, because it helps me to help you. I know how to tailor what I'm going to say next to support you in the best possible way if I know a little bit more about you. So let's dive in. So one of the reasons I wanted to start...
I know how to tailor what I'm going to say next to you based on the emojis you put in the chat, but also based on these notes that I wrote before I started going live. Like, pardon me, you're just going to make it up on the fly? I don't think so.
With the first steps to wealth today as a witch. The first steps to making more money, basically, is because I am seeing Fiona, not publicly. That's okay. You closet witches who don't want to put it publicly, and you're just not ready for that. Maybe you want to drop me a little message and let me know that you're there and you're watching, because that's equally as useful for me. So I'm seeing some trends and I'm seeing some patterns in the witchy community, in the entrepreneurial community, in the witchy entrepreneurial community, and the people that resonate with both. And I'll be honest, it makes me feel a bit uncomfortable. And here's why. Lots and lots of women right now, and men, don't get me wrong, but I only really work with women in the Wake Your Witch experience, so I'm not being deliberately exclusive of men. Exclusive, is that the word? Like, I'm not including them. I have a son, you know, men are important too, absolutely. The reason that I only work with women in the Wake Your Witch experience is because we incorporate things like cyclic living, you know, where you will tune into your rhythms and cycles, and they're very different for men and women. So trying to put both of that information in one container would be really difficult. And sometimes it's difficult to share really open, honestly, and vulnerably about women's stuff when there's men listening in, and we want that sacred sisterhood, and it's important. So that's why I only speak to women and women issues. So what I've been seeing, some of the trends that make me feel really uncomfortable, the big one is this demonization or rejection of wealth and anything material. And it comes in many, many forms, some really subtle and some not so subtle. I've seen all sorts of people sharing this stuff recently. Some people that have had lots of money in the past, and maybe still do, and have worked really hard for it, and maybe burnt out in the process, and have kind of had this, what they feel is maybe a spiritual awakening, where they've almost like, they've had that come to Jesus moment. And I don't necessarily mean in a religious sense, but like at the moment of something's got to change. And that might be because they've been through something really hard, or they've been through something really good. Like my first, I guess, awakening that was triggered was going through something really financially difficult, and it threw everything up in the air, and we nearly went bankrupt, and it was really, really tough. And it made me reassess things. And I kind of think that sometimes in the hardest times you look for a higher power for support, and they're great moments, transformative moments. Sometimes it's in the amazing, incredible, life-changing, beautiful moments, like for me.
I am finding the music in the background so distracting. That and the fact that she's not getting to the fucking point. After 15 minutes, she hasn't said a single thing. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing it.
Real deepening of my witchy ways and magic was when I became a mum. Because they're my biggest flex, you know, all the stuff, the money, the houses, my biggest flex is being a mum, like, and having 2 beautiful, healthy children, because I was told they'd never have that. And they are like just the biggest representation of magic and what's possible when you believe in it and practice it. And they're also the reason that I do what I do, because I want the world to be a better place for them. So, you know, I've kind of, when I say awakened or moved more into spiritual practices, deepened that magic and understood it in a bigger way at points in my life where it's been really tough and when it's been really, really good. And I know that a lot of the women that I work with tell me they're the same. And I've also noticed that there can be, what comes with that is this rejection of anything material. Like Chrissy says, I stop and push it away every time. I get into flow with money, it's so frustrating. Yeah, this is such a pattern. And what does that mean is it means that a lot of the really fucking good people that will do real good things in the world when they have more resources to do it, don't currently have the resources to do it. That's basically what it means. And it's dressed up in so many different ways. And I hear this all the time. I speak to a lot of witchy entrepreneurs every day as part of my work. And that could be because they're coming to me saying, Michelle, I need help with this. It could be because they're applying for something like the Wake Your Witch experience and we're going through the application process. And when I'm in, it could be my clients when we're in the trenches working through some of this stuff. And what I notice is that this demonization of money, it's dressed up in so many ways. And I want to know if you resonate with this. So I want you to just sit with yourself for a minute and ask yourself if you resonate with any of these things that I'm about to say. And if you do, at any point, I want you to just drop the either high five or one hand up emoji.
Guys, I'm bored.
In the comments. For example, have you found yourself saying things like, I'm not interested in money, money's not the most important thing. I don't pursue wealth. There's just so much more important things than money. It's not what drives me. It's not what motivates me. And be honest when you say it. Like when you say it, do you almost feel like a better person for it? Like, yeah, I'm a good person, me, because I said that, because I feel that, and because that's my stance. It's almost like wearing our financial mediocrity is the only way I can describe it. I'm sorry if that's all in your face, but it's like wearing it as a badge of honor and saying,
That's literally not true, though. Okay, I take personal offense to this because I feel like she's calling me out. I'm triggered. For her to say that if you claim to not be motivated by money or that like making a ton of money isn't a big deal to you, I don't think that's a piece of like moral superiority. Like, I don't think that because money isn't my main motivator as an entrepreneur, like I'm speaking legitimately as me, that's obviously I need to make money to pay my bills, but I didn't start a business to like become a millionaire, for example. For her to say that I only feel that way because I think that I'm morally superior to the people who are motivated by money makes literally zero sense. Imagine a world where we could all value different things or have different priorities or want different desires. Can you guys believe that there are people in this world who want to create things for a motivation other than just making a ton of money? Unbelievable. That's sarcasm, by the way, if you can't tell. This to me is giving, I believe one specific thing. And if you believe different than me, it's because you think you're better than me. And you're not. Thank you so much, Amy. I appreciate that. Amy says, being in alignment with the right energy doesn't change anything. If these coaches talk too much about nothing, you know it's a red flag. Isn't that so true? Similar to so many of the webinars I think that we watch on this channel, my kind of like conclusion that I've come to over the past couple of years is anyone who teaches me something that should take 5 minutes in 50 minutes is probably trying to fleece me out of my money. Thank you so much for the super chat though. I really appreciate it. Exactly. Julia says, what's wrong with being content and comfortable with your earnings? Like, just because I am happy with the amount of money I'm making and I don't desire to be a millionaire or make multiple six figures or whatever, doesn't mean that I then think I'm better than anyone who wants to do the opposite. Like, I have friends who their primary motivation of being a business owner is to make a ton of money. Good for them. That's not me, but if that's you, that's great. I think it's important to know what your motivation is, but to say that like one person believes one thing because they think they're better than someone else is such a stretch. Like, we don't all have to have the same motivations, and we shouldn't have the same motivations. Zip says, the way she must be looking at it exactly is that people who say they don't value money must be virtue signaling and can't possibly be genuine. And to me, that is such a blatant example of how she doesn't understand that different people can believe different things. Like when I meet someone who says like, yeah, like I was actually having a conversation with a friend the other day, and he was telling me how like his long-term goal is to make $6 million a year. He wants to grow his business to the point where it makes $6 million a year. And when he told me that, I wasn't like, oh my God, that's so disgusting. What a stupid goal to have. Like, no, that's great for you. If money is your motivator and that's the thing that's going to keep you working towards continuing to expand your business, amazing. It would never be me. But I'm not you, and I have different values and different things that I'm working to build. So I don't get it when people try to like, if you don't believe the same thing as me, you must have bad motivations. Like, no, maybe I just want something else. Thank you so much. Amy said dog treat fund and corgi butt shakes. If we're lucky, maybe the corgi will make an appearance. You guys might have seen, but Pablo came and brought me this landline. So the way we get our condo building was built like 40 years ago. And the way you get into the building is through a landline. So I guess someone's coming to deliver a package. I don't really know. But the dogs will go crazy when this phone rings. So the corgi might make an appearance at that time. All right, I am done yapping. Let's continue to listen to this nonsense.
Yeah, do you know what? Like, I'm a good person, so that's all right. Or, you know, I know what's important. And in some respects, I agree with you, because money becomes a problem. The pursuit of money becomes a problem when it's at the detriment or the cost of more important things. When it's completely ego-driven, for example. When it's detrimental to our health, our relationships, or the people in the process, then yeah, that might be toxic. But why are good women with good values, honest, amazing, incredible women that have so much to offer the world and the people that they could serve in the process, why are we saying that shit? Why? Why are we saying that shit? Why do we even feel the need for those words to leave our mouth? Because it gives us an out. That's why. It gives us an out. It gets us off with being broke, or just getting by, or whatever it is that your financial position is. It doesn't put you in the wealth zone, because when you bin that shit and you go, money's important and that's okay, because if I have more money, I'm a bigger inspiration. If I have more money, I can touch more lives. My money, I'll tell you now, my money in my bank account and all the things that I've purchased with money are a direct representation of how many women I've helped. Because if I hadn't helped them, then I wouldn't have been paid by them. So that's number one. I've worked with
I have seen this, and some of you in the comments who have been like in the depths of the coaching industry can probably attest to this as well. But I have seen this mentality of how much money I make is directly related to how many people I've helped, cause people to participate in some of the most toxic and harmful behavior I have ever seen. Because they do things that feel not great, that seem kind of iffy, that skirt those ethical boundaries, but they gaslight themselves into thinking, I am of service, I'm charging this much money because I'm helping this person, rather than admit to the fact. Like, the specific example I'm thinking of is I was in a coaching program and I was with a woman, like another woman was in the program with me, who had literally just opened her coaching business. She had no certifications. She just like quit her job and decided to call herself a coach. And our mentor at that time was telling her to charge like $5,000 or $10,000 for her coaching package. And she was telling this woman, you are of service, you are worth that much money because you are helping someone's life. Meanwhile, the woman who was doing the helping had no business coaching, first of all, but definitely had no business charging $5,000 to $10,000 for the coaching. And so I just think, I don't know if anyone else has seen that, but like from my personal anecdotal experience, in my opinion, this is toxic. It is toxic to try, and it's manipulative, to try and convince people that you can justify making a ton of money because you're helping people, when more often than not, the help that you're providing is actually causing more harm than good. Julia says 1,000, 10,000% correct. Yeah. So I know you've seen it. I'm sure other people here who have been inside these containers have seen it as well. It's so dangerous, in my opinion.
So many entrepreneurs that have some really awesome things to offer that never help anyone with it. like amazing skills, experiences, a calling within them to do this life's work, this mission, but they never actually help anyone with it, or they help a few people but not on a real large scale. And a lot of it is because the money shit gets in the way of them doing it, because they keep saying this money story over and over again that, oh, it's not the most important thing to me. And not driven, more so not deserving. And you try and separate that, Ellie. So I totally agree with you. Like some people.
I think there's two different things she's saying here, though. Like, to say money is not the most important thing is different than saying money is not important. And so I can say money is not the most important thing in my business. That's true. But money is still one of the things that is important in my business. So it's like she's confusing two different concepts here. Thank you, Amy. Amy says, I will say for a fact, it's toxic since I can. I appreciate that. Thank you.
People will say, I'm not driven by money. And all right, but let's heal that relationship then so that you are, so that you can connect what being driven by money can give you. Not being driven only by money. We're not saying that, but by allowing yourself to desire it, to pursue it.
Okay, but if you're saying it's not only that, she's not making any sense. Unless someone correct me in the comments, please explain this to me like I'm 5 years old. Is there something I'm not understanding? Because to me, she's saying, if money isn't important to you, if money's not the most important thing to you, we need to change that. But that's not to say that you only need to be motivated by money. Well, then I'm not. Like, I can say money's not the most important thing and still have it be a motivation. It's just not the only motivation. Like, she's making my brain hurt, guys.
In a really, really healthy way, because if you're a spiritual being, then you may have been through this period of realising what's really, really, really important, and that actually this is us having this human experience, but it's just a real short human experience that's very specific with a specific intention, and then it's over, and then we'll do it again. And like, so you might end up thinking, well, what's the point in it all? Like, why do I want money? And I don't need more shoes, and I don't need... But you are human right now, and you are having a human experience. And spirituality, let me tell you, abundance is a big part of it. Realising your power, your magic, that you are possible of anything. Anything's possible for you. You can create anything that's in your wildest imagination. It's yours for the taking. Abundance in every area is spirituality. Because when you learn how to harness energy, shift your vibration, attract things that blow your mind, and then help the planet to do the same in a way.
Monica says, has she even said anything about the spells or how to make money? I haven't learned anything. So far, all we've learned is that we all need to worship money and make it our primary motivation in everything we do in life. Write that down.
That feels good, comes from joy, comes from love. That's what you're fucking here to do. There's nothing other than that. There's nothing other than that. You are here to experience sheer joy and happiness and abundance, and help the planet to shift into that frequency so that more people can experience it, so that less people suffer. Who's the people going out doing all the crime in the world and the horrible, terrible things? They're not the people that are holding the vibration of love and abundance. They're hurt people, hurting more people. Like, you have the power to change so much in this world if you just stop playing small. And I know it might feel like I'm on my soapbox lecturing you here now, but I just know that the people that tune into this, the people that find this, I know you and your vibration at your core, because I know what I attract. I know my attraction point right now, therefore I know you're here for a reason. And I know for certain that if you just step into this abundant version of you, you absolutely have the power to not just change your life and your close families, but the ripple effect from that is just huge. And that's what this is about. That's what my work's about, and that's what your life's about. So if you've been telling yourself some stories, like the other stories that I see, and this, you may have seen this, you may have even fallen victim to believing this, is that it's in some way crude, improper, or dated to talk about money. So I've seen a lot of this like wave of really successful, powerful women who've earned a lot of money in the past in the coaching space that have got quite a voice online, and they are sharing content on a regular basis. And I'm sorry, because this is going to sound like I'm calling people out, and it's not my intention, but it is my intention to like just shake the shit out of people that are feeling a little bit like this right now, or sharing these messages. Because here's what I'm seeing, and please tell me if you resonate and you're seeing this as well. They've had a voice, and they've got used to doing lives, sharing content. They've got an audience, they've got some followers, they've made some money in the past, and probably they've burnt out. For a lot of people, they've burnt out. That's generally what's happened. They've been too much in their masculine energy. Not that the masculine energy is bad. We don't want to demonize that either. It's about balance and harmony between the two. But they've perhaps been too much in their masculine. And when I say that, I mean the systems, the structures, the society that we currently live in that has rewarded hard work, hustle, and all the things that we've been taught we should do to be successful, which is bullshit, by the way. They've assigned their belief system to that, and they've gone at the pursuit of wealth and success. Still good people with good hearts, but they've gone at it with that paradigm, with that belief, and they've burnt out, and they've sacrificed. They've probably sacrificed their witchy ways. They've probably been working so hard they've not had time for magic or, you know, ritual or self-care or deep divine goddessness, you know, like the juicy.
Guys, the reason why I am not rich and those of you watching are not rich is because we haven't made time for magic. All we had to do was put it in our schedules. We messed up, guys. We really dropped the ball on that one.
Stuff. They might have sacrificed relationships. Their health may have suffered. You know, there'd have been feedback and nudges calling them home, back to the path of the goddess, back to the feminine, back to the way of working differently. And they'll have come home. They've come home and they've gone, whoa, that was wild. I need to do things differently. And then they've swung like a pendulum into the feminine and demonized everything that happened previously. And now they're sharing that. They're saying, talking about money's dated. There's a new paradigm happening. New Earth is calling for you to forget about money and to do this. And it's not true. It's still out of balance. It's still out of balance. It's just out of balance in a different way. And look, I'm not here to shame anyone because everyone's on their journey. Everyone's on their journey, and you are where you are in that journey. And by the way, I've been all of these people, doing all of these things at points, not necessarily demonising money, but maybe having my own conversations with myself behind closed doors, going, oh, I've worked too hard there, I've burnt out there, I've sacrificed there, even more so since I've become a mum, because it became more important than ever to never, ever, ever go back to working to a point where I sacrifice anything. Because sacrificing time with them, oh, it's gone in a blink.
I would much rather scam people than sacrifice my time by having to go work a job. I don't know about you guys, but scamming people and making a bunch of money is priority over being a good person. So make sure somebody write that about me on Reddit, because I just said it. It's a fact. It's true, 100%. I don't care about people. I only care about making a lot of money at the sacrifice of everyone else's well-being for my own well-being. Okay?
Of an eye, isn't it? And suddenly
that's a
grown
joke.
Up and you're like, my baby Bobby is 3. Like, she's 3. And I'm so glad and blessed that every day I've been with her, I've not missed a thing. Not a thing have I missed. Illy's 8 months old. Like that, it feels like he was a newborn yesterday. I've not missed anything, not one moment. My work fits around my life, not my life fitting around my work. It's born from feminine energy. I move with my intuition. I travel with my family. I have total and utter balance. But when it's business time, it's fucking business time. And we're going to get results. And there's going to be some structure. And there's going to be and we're going to be money orientated and focused, because that's how we measure success in business. And
Erin, if you want to just work for 3 hours a day and take a bath and be rich, all you have to do is be what did she say? Money orientated. Is orientated a word? She means oriented, right? Oriented? Orientated. All you gotta do is focus on the money, okay? Write that down.
And that's okay, because if I have more money, I can help more people. And this balance needs restoring, like, more than ever does it need restoring, because there's these messages of the world that right now are saying it's somehow improper to not want to want money. When I first put out there at the event that I was running a few months ago.
Again, I'm repeating myself over and over again, but someone saying they're not motivated by money is not saying that people who are motivated by money are bad. I feel like she is, projecting her own insecurities on the fact that there are other people who believe something different than her. That's the vibe I'm getting from this. Because it's like, if you're not motivated by money, then you must be saying that people who are evil. But I'm not saying that, honey. I never said that. You said that. You're projecting that onto me, even though it's not true. So why are we doing that? Maybe we should try this thing. It's called therapy. It's called getting a therapist to help you unpack some of that, because clearly there's something going on here.
That some of you were at. Let me know if you were there, actually. Tell me in the comments if you were there. And we talked about spellcasting and what is a spell, which I'm gonna touch on in a second, actually. And we didn't go into different spells on that event, although that's coming, so keep your eyes peeled for that. At that event, you know, when I went public with that, my ads went live, and we were like, right, we've got a target, guys. I want to get a certain amount of people in, which we smashed, by the way. There was like 2.5.
Wait, we're running ads? I thought we were using magic to build our business. So this is giving the same vibes as when you get an ad on Instagram that says, like, learn how to make your first $1 million organically. Meanwhile, it's an Instagram paid ad. The math is not mathing here.
1,000 people there. It's amazing. But there's so many people attacked me. And I mean spiritual women who are maybe resonating with the word witch, full on, viciously, because I was talking about money. And they're like, no, you can't do that as a witch. Stop. The fear, the shit, the beliefs, their stuff around money, reared its head and was, you know, I've kind of learned through this journey. I'm at a stage in my life, and I'm not always perfect at this, by the way, because sometimes it just really hurts. But I've kind of at a space now where I can hold space for all of that. I can hold space for their feelings, their emotions, their stuff, without really taking it on as being something that I've done wrong. Whereas, gosh, years ago I'd been like mortified and just not ready for that. But it's interesting to me how the most wounded money stories come out of the mouths of spiritual women. I've worked with lots of different types of people in my career as a coach and a mentor in business. Men, non-spiritual women, women that are way more in their masculine and don't resonate with any of the woo-woo stuff. People that are just kind of finding it, people that, and then deeply spiritual women. I can tell you it's the real spiritual women that are really doing the work on themselves and learning all about the moon cycles and all about the witchy ways that have the most money crap. Generally. And that's why I was like, okay, I'm going to get the most stick for this, but I can create the most change here, because you're the women. You're the women that need to be rising here and stepping back into your power, recognising the shit for what it is and going, it's okay, it's safe for me to be wealthy. Why would it not be? Why would it not be? You know, a lot of this comes back to a witch wound as well. You know, if I rise, if I use my voice really loud and spread it really far and more people know about me, what if I'm attacked? That feeling of being alienated, ostracised, attacked, that is really deep in women. Because there's remembrance, there's soul remembrance, there's genetic lineage remembrance. It's not that long ago, really wasn't that long ago, that it wasn't safe for women to have a voice, that it wasn't safe for women to make lots of money. We're still living in a world now. I was putting a training together for the Wakey Witch experience the other day, but really like mapped it out. We are still living in a world where women are killed every day just for being women in some parts of the country. We're still living in a world where some countries women can't drive, can't work, don't get educated. We're still living in a world where in the Western world, there's a pay gap between men and women. Do you know like the difference in male millionaire entrepreneurs and women millionaire entrepreneurs? The numbers, it's sickening, it's insane. I'll post it for you soon so you can see all the numbers. The part of me and my team have been doing this research to look at it and go, what's the situ? Like, is this a real thing? And I can tell you it's a real thing. And we don't change it by going, oh, money's not important to me. And then moan at the state of the world. Because if the power and the money is in the hands of people that aren't like you, why are you shocked about the state of the world? We need to change that. So,
okay, we're gonna pause for a dog break. My dogs are going crazy, so I'm gonna show you the cute little babies because this woman is making me go crazy. Okay, for the big dog. Here, baby. Here is a baby corgi, the baby corgi. Oh, hi, baby. Look at the camera. Who's that? Who's that? Oh, yes, you're so beautiful. You're so cute. Oh, this is my big baby corgi. So cute. So cuddly. She's like, put me down, man. Bye. And then Bubba's here, too. Little baby Bubba. You can see his tail. Hi, buddy. Hi, baby Bubba. Everybody say hello. Bluetooth. Yes, so cute. Okay, sorry for the interruption. They were barking, so I'm home alone and I'm overwhelmed.
I'm going to give you my wealthy witch tip of the week, and there's going to be one of these every week. It's not that long ago that women in the UK weren't allowed to have a bank account. Bex, like, it's just nuts. Like, that is just nuts, isn't it? So, wealthy witch tip of the week, and
Okay, so we're 30 minutes in of a 45-minute live stream. And now we're allegedly going to learn what the point is. We're going to learn something. I'm not holding my breath. I'll just leave it at that.
every week there's going to be something that I'm going to share with you that's going to just set the wheels in motion for you. Sometimes it will be about magic and spell casting and energy, and sometimes it will be more strategic and practical, and you know, this is how to make more money. I want to talk about spells. So how many of you are casting spells already? Give me a yes, spellcaster, or no spells in the comments, just so I can see a little bit.
Give me a yes or no in the chat if you are casting spells or not casting spells. Let me know.
Show of hands, so put yes, spellcaster, so I know what you're referring to, because sometimes people put yes, and then when I go back and read the comments, I'm like, what was that yes to? Because I don't know where I was at that point in the live.
Hey, buddy.
Now, the reason I'm asking is because a lot of like people that resonate with the word witch and have really reclaimed that word, because the meaning of it is just like what it's been used for, the way that word has been misused over the centuries is nothing short of angering. And it's okay to be angry, by the way. It's okay to be angry at the state of the world. It's okay to be angry at the powers that be and the way that, but it's not okay to just be angry because it's pointless. You've got to be angry in action.
Yes, I would like to give full credit to Amy for manifesting the corgi appearing in the video. Perhaps if you guys believe a little harder, she'll come back.
Okay, no spells. Okay, interesting. So I find this, a lot of people that are practicing witches have this rejection of money, and I have to work really hard to get them on board with making lots more of it. And then the women that are kind of in business, maybe a little bit more spiritual or more entrepreneurial, are not yet casting spells. And this is why the sweet spot in the middle is like, trust me, wealth and abundance in every area of your life, not just money, will never come easier than when you're casting spells with a strategy that's backed up by science. They're the 3 S's that I work with: spells, strategy, science.
Backed up by science. Okay, I'm sorry. Erin, you identified as a witch earlier. Do you claim to be using science in your spells? Because I'm sorry, but this is giving, I'm using quantum physics to create my reality. No, you're not. You're literally not doing that. Stop lying. Why are you bringing science into this? Why?
Because when those 3 come together, it's wild. That's what the Wake Witch experience is all about, those 3 things. So, Chrissy fell off the spellcasting wagon. That's okay. We can get back on. And I know you're going to get back on very, very soon. So, spells. Let me just tell you what a spell is, first of all. Because I'm telling you to go and cast spells. Like, that's my tip for this week, is learn how to cast spells. And I'm going to be sharing so much more on that. So, we're going to be doing a lot more spellcasting work together. So, stay tuned for that if you want some guidance on it. But don't just go and buy a spell book. And here's why. Well, there's a few reasons why. Number one, a lot of the spells from our ancestors, like that deep, deep wisdom that was not really passed down very well, was destroyed, because when the witches were burned, so with all the books, the spell books, etc. And if you were a witch way back then, probably wouldn't have called yourself that, by the way, as a kind of a word that was given to us in a negative connotation, which is why I talk about the reclamation of that word and making it something different. But these would have just been women that knew about herbs and potions and energy and used it for their everyday life to enhance it. And when it became outlawed to be a witch and your life was at risk if you were called that, they would have burned their books, they would have, buried them, they would have been well hidden. I always say, like, treasure to me would be finding a buried spell book. Can you imagine? From like ancient times, like that would just be the greatest gift. Like, give me that over a pot of gold.
Okay, so we're at 34 minutes almost. This video is 44 minutes long. Do you think, per Julia's comment, are we going to learn at least 1 spell by the end of this video? Because my hope is dwindling by the moment.
At the end of the rainbow any day. So a lot of spells are either passed down, if you're like lucky enough to be an ancestral witch, or you come from a line of practicing witches that are practicing witchcraft and pass down spells, or you've got to find them from really great sources that have been passed down. So, there's what I'm trying to say is the spell books out there are just like a bit gimmicky, they're for entertainment only. And then there's some really, really like authentic, based on experience and evidence, etc. That there's a reason that they work the way they work. So, being the geek that I am and putting so much research into this, I have my own, they call it like a book of shadows when you're a practicing witch, but that insinuates that it's dark, which is why I don't really use that. But I have my own magic book, I have my own spell book, and a list of things that I'll draw on when I'm working with clients really intimately. So when I'm mentoring someone through the 6-month experience, which the doors are closed for at the moment, but keep your eyes peeled, because when the application's open for future dates, if this is all sounded of interest to you, it's an application process and you'll need to keep your eyes peeled for that. And I'll always let you know here and on socials when it opens. It's closed at the minute, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to give you some easy stuff to go around.
I'm just complaining about how she is saying, like, you're going to buy my program, but it's like, you haven't even taught me anything that shows, that demonstrates to me that you know what you're talking about. Like, if I think back to 6 years ago when I used to buy into all this nonsense, at least the people that I gave money to gave me something for free, where I was like, okay, this person knows what they're talking about. The silence spell worked. Sorry, I muted it so you guys wouldn't have to hear me swallowing my drink, but alas, here we are.
So when I'm working with someone really closely, we cast spells very strategically, and that's my first tip in casting a spell. Cast spells strategically. This isn't about casting lots and lots and lots of spells. Some, like, take me, for example. Some years will cast 2 spells in a year because I only need to create massive, massive change and progression towards my goals. Sometimes it's more like 4, like maybe 1 a quarter, but it's never much more than that. It's about having a real intentional kind of goal. So a big part of spell casting is knowing how to set goals as well.
Every time I think she's about to actually teach us something, she goes on a tangent. I gotta speed this up. This is like, my brain is melting. Legitimately.
And then strategically choosing the absolute best spell that will help you align your energy with that goal to bring it to you quicker. Now, I'm not saying that I've got beef with crystals, or of course I haven't, they're part of Mother Earth, I love them, but I'm not a fan of like mass production of crystals because it's become out of balance. And once you see this, you can't unsee it. So sorry if you love going through crystal shops and poring over the crystals and just buying them because they look pretty or whatever. I've been there too. I've visited Glastonbury and Sedona and all these places and loved doing that too. But there was a moment that I had, and it was actually a message that was given to me where I realised how out of balance that was for Mother Earth, that we were just saying now crystals are big business now, and that it was the unconsciousness behind just kind of raping and pillaging her for all of these rocks and crystals, and a lot of them never get actually used in the way that they could be used, or herbs and other things that you might use in spells, because this is about being really intentional. And it's about saying, okay, I don't need a spell every week or every day, and nobody's got time for that, you know. I just need to know how to set some really clear and specific goals that mean the world to me, and then align a spell with that is going to use some things, maybe like crystals and herbs and part of the elements, because that's what creates a great spell, because each crystal and herb and element holds a vibration, and that vibration is what enhances the energy of bringing the thing that you desire to you. So these things are there for a reason, you know, they're not just put in books for a...
Zip, we don't need that kind of energy. Zip says, if only she worked full-time casting the spells, the world's problems would be solved. We don't care about the world's problems. We care about making a ton of money. And so we are only learning spells so that we ourselves can get rich. Forget about the rest of the world. I don't care. I don't care. Not my problem. Not my problem to worry about. I'm too busy getting rich with my goal-setting spells. Like, what the fuck? Help.
Effect, but it's about being really intentional, really conscious, and this is where offerings come from for me. So if I use a crystal and maybe a herb or something else from Mother Earth in a spell, then I offer something back. So it might be that I scatter some seeds in spring that will grow something new that contributes, or it might be that I don't know, I do something to contribute, okay? This is about mutual exchange of energy all the time to keep things in balance. So when we say offerings, it's not like a sacrifice in a small child or a lamb, you know, it's about offering something back for what we're taking, you know? So coming into a spell environment with these things in mind is really, really good practice. But it's not just what the spell teaches you to do. It's not just like getting the ingredients for the spell and following the instructions. It's about the way you feel and the energy.
Okay, but what is the spell? You still haven't taught us the spell. It's been 38 minutes and you haven't even told us what the spell is. You haven't told us how to do anything.
That you're able to create when you do that, when you conduct that spell. I'd love this to be like a whole spellcasting workshop so that we could like do it together, but we don't have time for that today. But tell me, would you like that? Tell me, would you like that? Because if you like that, perhaps that's something we can put on as one of the bigger events where we actually, you know, cast spells.
Not a chance, Suzanne. Not in this lifetime.
Together, and I teach you what that looks like and making space for it and blah, blah, blah. But
so did she just waste 40 minutes of our lives to pitch us her program and to say, if you actually want to learn the spell, you have to pay me?
What I want you to really know about spells is that what are they? It doesn't matter if you don't even like the word spell because it feels weird or childish in some way, because people have said that to me, that, oh, I don't know, it feels really childish, or it feels a bit sinister, or it feels, you can call it a ritual, like a goal-setting ritual if you want to. But what's important is that you know how to harness energy through ritual and through the use of the utilisation, the co-creation, the collaboration of your energy and the energy of Mother Earth, the elements, the moon, etc. Because spells require you to cast them at certain points in moon cycles as well, and depending on what the Earth's doing. So there's a lot that goes into a really effective spell, and lots of you want to do it. Okay, cool, let's do it. We will do that. there's a lot that goes into it, but what I want you to know is why. Why is because of the energy that's conjured up and created in it. It's not because you can kind of just go through it like a robot and do the things.
Monica, I tried finding her programs, but her website doesn't work. Like, she didn't pay for the domain, so TBD.
Then go poof. Oh, now I'm rich. It just doesn't work like that. What
She's
happens
upspelling
generally
us.
after you've cast a spell? I'll give you an example. So I was with a client yesterday, and we were talking about relationships, actually, not money. And I'm not going to tell you too much about her business because that would be improper, but just enough for you to know what I mean by this spellcasting process and how to do it yourself. We were talking about relationships, and she's at a stage in her life where she's ready to meet her soulmate, and the divine time is good for that. And we really felt into that, and she's been learning about that and how to do that and use her intuition to know when it's time and stuff. So we've used spells to enhance that and make it easier for her to find him and for him to find her. And it required 2 spells. One, to release what was within her that was holding her back. Hey, Rebecca. From being of the right vibration to attract true love. Because if our stuff, you know, our past hurts, traumas, if we're holding on to things, sometimes unknowingly, then it can be a block, like an energetic block to what we want to have. So that was the first spell. And that needed to be cast on the new moon, around the new moon, which is in about 11 days' time now. So there was a bit of time for her to prepare for it. And then the second spell was then, once all that kind of crap had been cleared, was to then bring in the new. And that was to be cast on the full moon. So, you know, this process, there was things to do in between as well to keep aligning her energy, And then when it's done...
That was my thought too. Monica says, so rich, but can't get a website? How interesting. When I was on her, I found her, so again, she somehow ended up in my inbox. Jane Doe signed up for her email. I go to her Facebook page. I'm trying to find information about her programs as I'm downloading all these live streams. No website. I click the website, it's a broken domain. Again, similar to how I'm like, if you're a millionaire, you can definitely afford a mic off Amazon. If you're a millionaire, you can absolutely afford a $20 domain. So I'm a little bit confused. You could build a WordPress website for free. Make it make no sense. That's all I'm saying. I'm also on my phone trying to figure out if I can figure out like where her programs are elsewhere on the internet. So stay tuned.
What's going to be happening between these points is things are going to be surfacing, and this is the thing that most people don't realise about spells. It's not just about casting it, opening the ceremony, closing the ceremony, and then going about your day. It's about becoming acutely aware and conscious and intentional of what happens after. A great witch is so attuned to energy that they sense the subtle changes in it all the time. And this is an art, and this is a journey I just invite you on. Like, go on it. I'll take you on it. Come with me on it. It's so cool. Because when you become that sensitive and that in tune with the energy, you sense things shifting. So it might be, for example, that let's say she casts this spell to release all the past hurt and move closer to becoming into readiness to receive her new partner, for example. You could relate this to money. And then there'll be something subtle. And let's say it's subtle that she suddenly starts to subtly not feel as content in her environment, her home. And she's like, I don't know, I feel a bit flat. This house is making me feel flat now. Like, I used to love where I lived. I walk in now and there's a flatness. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know where you are in your journey and how attuned you are with your energy yet, but tell me if you resonate. Like, sometimes you don't know why you're feeling something, but you just like, oh, could be a friendship. You're like, this isn't. And this is about radical awareness, like, real acute awareness, and it starts to come naturally, like second nature, when you get used to it.
What is she saying? I feel like she goes on a tangent and then just 180s somewhere else. Like, we never actually complete a whole thought.
Yes. That's feedback. So she's like, there's something in my environment. My environment needs to change. Am I being called to move house? Okay, maybe I'm being called to move house. Does that feel like a yes in my body? That feels like a yes in my body. I'm being called to move house. How exciting. Part of me finding true love must be moving house. It's not about knowing all the answers and connecting all the dots forward, because you can't do that. It's about knowing, trusting, moving when you feel called to move, taking action when you feel called to take action, knowing that you won't be able to connect the dots until you connect them backwards, but you will be connecting them. And you'll be connecting them in the place of having achieved your goal, going, oh my freaking God, that's why I felt that, and I needed to move then, and I needed to get rid of that friendship to bring in that friendship, and I needed to change jobs there, and I needed to... I can see it all now because I trusted and I took action. And that's a big part of the spellcasting process. It's not just about like alakazam, bam. It's about going, let me get really still now in between these spells and in the process of these spells. Let me see what's surfacing. Where am I moved and called to do different things? And I'm talking, but I've talked for 45 minutes, so here's what you need to do next. If you're really into this and you want to go on this journey with me and you're like, yes, Michelle, I'm going to be a wealthy witch, then here's what you need to do. Tune into these series every week. That's it. Tune into these series, share them with a friend, reach out, talk to me, keep your eyes peeled for the bigger events that we run that are really freaking powerful, because the collective energy that we can harness when they're really big events is huge, and massive, massive shifts happen. Keep your eyes peeled for them, and share. And don't forget, if you are sharing, tell...
Why would I share this? I'm so confused. I don't understand. We didn't learn anything. Ah! Okay. I'm just on her Facebook page. I want to know if we want to watch part 2. This was part 1 of this series. There's like 4 parts, but I only downloaded the first 2 because I wasn't sure how it was going to go. Curious what you guys think, and if you guys want to watch part 2. I'm just trying to see if she's ever posted her programs because I'm not seeing anything. From broke employee to millionaire witchy entrepreneur. Join me live as I share the raw, real, behind-the-scenes journey of how I went from barely making ends meet in 2009 to hitting my first 7-figure year in 2019. Like her whole Facebook page is just her live streaming, but there's no info about like any of her programs. It's just getting people to sign up for her Facebook Lives. This is so bizarre. She has a Facebook Live every week. She introduces this series that we just watched. Like, how are you selling your offers if you don't even have a website? I don't understand. No, I'm not seeing anything. I'm so confused. I'm down to keep mocking her for a little bit. Do you have something else? I don't have anything else. I only have this lady. We can find something else though. She seems like the girl that charges 6 figures to be in her energy. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yes, you heard that right. She is not only a professional witch, but she's also a millionaire mentor. No, I just scrolled through her Facebook page and there's nothing, it's just promoting her Facebook Lives. And there's no real like info about any of her offers. Okay, here we go. Okay, it looks like maybe I'm gonna have to move some stuff here. I found a different website. So maybe she stopped paying for, oh, whoops. She stopped paying for her, like, so the domain that wasn't working was like hername.com. But it looks like maybe she has, whoops, a different website. Hold on, what is this? wakeyourwitch.com. Nope. Okay. Why is it working on my computer and not? I've been having issues recently with, usually with like an, like if you have an iPhone and a MacBook, it'll copy and paste from each device, but mine hasn't been working lately. It did work. Okay, so this is her website. Okay, show us the goods. So, mastering magic for real life miracles, introducing Wake Your Witch, an intimate and deeply transformative 6-month journey of personal mentorship for women ready to fully align with abundance in every area of life, using a powerful combination of ancient witchcraft and modern strategies backed by science. Again, she said that her methods used science in the live stream, yet I didn't hear any science. Did you? Did I miss it? I don't think she ever actually said anything that was scientific, so still waiting on that evidence to present itself. As seen on TV, and then she has all these links, like, as seen on Amazon. What? As seen on Fox, as seen on YouTube. Anyone could be on YouTube. I'm on YouTube, and I'm just a little silly idiot that lives in... What? Ah! That'd be like as seen on Instagram. Guys, I have an Instagram, therefore, this video was sponsored by Instagram. Yeah, as seen on it, and then it lists Google. Like, that's what I don't get. SoundCloud. I could also post on SoundCloud if I wanted to. So many of these are public platforms. There is an inner witch within all of us, holding the key to the life you've always dreamed of but felt was out of reach. Modern manifestation techniques have failed you because they lack the missing link. Witchcraft brings that gap, awakening the ancient magic within to fully create the life you desire. The Wake Your Witch experience will help you. Uncover ancient wisdom, practical strategies, and scientific truths to activate your true potential, leading you to a life of abundance, success, and authentic magic. Even if magic and manifestation haven't worked for you in the past, even if you struggle to balance your spiritual and practical life, even if you're brand new to the ways of magic. Blah, 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 blah. This is strict application only experience with limited spaces available due to the incredibly intimate nature of our time together. Okay, so it's saying it already expired, but let's see if we can apply. Oh, would you believe it? The timer has expired, but there's still space for Jane Doe. Let's see, let's see. Are you kidding? Include your Facebook URL so that Michelle can connect with you personally. Absolutely not going to do that. What has drawn you? I love magic. What do you hope to achieve? Get so rich. Have you worked with magic? I love manifesting my dreams. As a business owner, are you a business owner? Are you starting to, what? I can't read. You guys know what I'm saying. I already own a business. Please describe your business. Helping people manifest. Why do you feel, okay, I'm so bored. Okay, here we go. This is what I want. I don't know why I waste time filling these things out when I don't even bother submitting them. The investment for this includes 2 payment options. So I can either pay with a payment plan for 500, I always get these confused. That's British pounds, right? 500 British pounds, then pay $750 per month for 6 months. Or I pay the £500 deposit and then I pay $4,500 in full. Oh my God. My brain isn't working. Let me use my calculator. La da 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 da. Calculator. 750 times 6. Oh, it's the same price. Wow. Okay, I will give this woman credit, although I'm not really sure, based on the video we watched, that her teachings are worth £4,500. Her payment plan does not cost any extra. So I will give credit where credit is due. Now I want to know what the conversion rate currently is. So our friend that is staying with us right now is from the UK, and he keeps asking us like, oh, how much is this? How much is that? And I'm like trying to do the conversion from like British pounds to Canadian dollars, and I'm just guessing every time because I don't actually know. So let's see, 4,500 British pounds is 8,000 Canadian dollars. So I hate it here. Oh my God. Yeah, if you factor in the 500-pound deposit, that's over $9,000. So that's brutal. Based on the live stream we watched where we learned absolutely nothing, I'm not hopeful that her paid programs will deliver much extra. Oh, there's also a bonus if we pay in full. We can receive a private DNA activation session. Oh my God, if you guys have not seen, I interviewed a woman, or I didn't interview her. She shared her story in my DMs. A woman who paid for a spiritual DNA activation session. It was actually insane. I'm just going to pull up the link and drop it in the chat. Oh, my phone is not working. If I can find it later, I'll pin it in the comments or something. I don't know why the internet on my phone isn't working right now. Kind of making me go a little bit loco. Here we go. Okay. Here it is. Let's see if the copy and paste will work. But yeah, so like a spiritual activation thing is like a real thing that some of these people believe in. Anyway, the story that this woman shared in the video I just dropped in the live chat is absolutely wild. Complete scam. Okay, sorry. I'm just going to catch up on the live chat. Making Jane Doe's manifestation coaching website could be a fun thing to do sometime. It actually would be funny if I made a like landing page essentially so that when I apply to these things, Jane Doe appears to be a real person. Hello, Zerify. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Have you seen her Trustpilot reviews? I have not. We could look that up though. Just what? Oh, okay. Just one review. How? I'm confused how this woman is a millionaire. Like how many, if my program, other question, am I saying I'm a millionaire in USD or am I a millionaire in British pounds? How many $4,500 programs do I need to sell to make $1 million? 200. That's a lot. That's a lot of programs. Yeah, all these hucksters should add as seen on Danielle's live stream to their website. Stacey Bayman should have it running as a banner on the top of her website for sure. I think my DNA has already been activated since I developed from an embryo and have been alive for decades. Well, you wouldn't be wrong. Maybe she can mutate my DNA and I'll be part of the X-Men. Can you imagine? So this comment says she married or inherited wealth and does this because she's bored. Can you imagine if I became a millionaire? Like, let's say I married someone with $1 million and then I started calling myself a millionaire mentor. That would actually be so funny. If you like, or like you were born with a trust fund and then like, yeah, I have $500,000 and you make it sound like it's from your business, but really it's because your parents gave it to you. Okay, find me. If I could leave 0 stars, I would review. Okay, let's go to Trustpilot. What's her name? Michelle Stonehill. Trustpilot. Okay, so 4.4 stars, which is not bad. Although I guess keep in mind, if she was receiving negative reviews, she very well may have encouraged her current clients to go and leave positive reviews. But let's see. Okay, see all 58 reviews. Okay, so I'm assuming that one will be under 1 star. Is it titled If I Could Leave? Okay, here we go. So this is from March 2020. How does it show up? Okay, you guys can see it. It says, I joined this program following a discovery call where I was advised that I would have 10K months within 4 months of joining. That's steep. What I discovered since joining the program and afterwards from many other women shocked me. The website advises bespoke one-on-one coaching, but what I actually got was access to an online teaching area with audio and videos, some of which were only a couple of minutes long. The one-to-one support is actually only 2 hours over the course of the entire 12 months. I personally felt like the fee of $9,000 was totally unacceptable. The group calls regularly featured women crying in despair because they had no money. These were women who I feel I was led to believe before joining were successful in the program. I was horrified when I discovered the truth. So she's saying, this is how I'm interpreting it. I'm not stating this as fact. Let's call the person who is writing this review. Her name is Katie. So Katie sees these success stories of Brittany and Sarah in this program. Then she joins the program, and Brittany and Sarah are on these calls crying because they don't have any money. But Katie thought they had money and that they were successful, and that's why she joined? Is that what she's saying? Oh my goodness. The final straw for me came when Michelle approached a number of us individually to sell slots into Fox TV. This was done in such a way as to insinuate only a handful of women had been invited. We were advised this wasn't going out to the entire coaching group and pushed into paying with a sense of urgency so as to secure our spot. The following week, it was indeed put out to the entire coaching group, and I was shocked to discover 30 women were actually attending. I personally felt completely misled by this and have since discovered slots can be purchased at 10 a penny by agents in the US, one of which I believe Michelle is associated with. When I asked for a refund of my deposit, I also requested details of company registration and registered business address, after which I was swiftly removed from the entire program and blocked from all social media. If you're looking for a coaching program, there are many better coaches out there with what I believe are a sense of integrity and honesty and will offer much better programs than this one at a much more reasonable cost. Don't waste your money. So then this Michelle woman decided to reply. Hi, Katie. As you are aware, your review is full of inaccurate points. All services were provided to you exactly as contracted and advertised prior to your purchase, and we would be happy to prove. Expecting us to provide you with a different service to the one you had purchased and the one we are contracted to provide is clearly an unreasonable expectation. I can't speak to either of this. I have not seen the contract. Based on the original testimonial you gave us while accepting the service, as well as many other thank yous you gave us for the service, not to mention your recent launch of a competitor business, we can only assume that this is an attempt to tarnish our reputation. Please find the original testimonial below. Michelle Stonehill is every woman's dream business coach. I've been working with her through her Wealth Accelerator program now for 4 months, and the changes I've seen in myself have been out of this world. It really has been the most fun and transformational journey I've ever been on. I've become super clear on my niche and simply love the business I'm building. I've finally given in to my fear of judgment and rejection by others, and developed the confidence to follow my dreams. Michelle really cares about you and your business, and she's made me really believe in myself. The mindset and business strategy she shares is parallel to none, and I could not be more grateful I found her. Interesting, if this is true. Although, I feel like I've spoken to this idea before, and again, I'm sure that some of you in the comments can attest to this. When you are in a program, especially one that you've spent a lot of money on, like this woman said she spent $9,000, you are going to play the most wild game of mental gymnastics with yourself to try and convince yourself that you got something of value out of that program, even when you didn't. And I know I've said this 100 times at this point. When I made my first investment in a coach and she basically just wasted my time and my money, I would do everything to convince myself that, oh, I feel so much better about myself. I'm so much more confident. I have a better mindset, blah, 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 blah. I would make this laundry list of excuses as to why the investment was worth it, only to then, years later, be like, you know what? That was actually a scam. So if this is true, I could see how when you're in the group environment and the person is saying, like, can you provide us with a testimonial? You might give them raving reviews and then retract that statement months later, right? Like, changing your mind on something isn't totally abnormal if that did happen. But again, I don't know enough about this particular scenario to speak definitively. So we'll just leave it at that. Exactly. Coaches also offer incentives for positive testimonials. So that could be it too. You never know. I've been there, not with this woman. So I think that was in reference to the idea of being misled into a program and then realizing that you got fooled, man. They played you. I joined a program based on glowing testimonials only to be on calls with the same women crying that they couldn't pay their bills. Yeah, exactly. And I have heard that countless times. You will become a mental Olympian. Exactly. Whoa, what is happening? They often manipulate positive reviews with a temptation of winning a prize, like a free one-on-one or upgrade. So they get a lot of positive reviews, but they are not genuine. Exactly. Or like you have genuinely convinced yourself you had a good experience, and maybe in that moment you want to say something positive, but then once you kind of like pull back the curtain and think about it a little bit, you're like, wait a minute, this was not a 5-star experience. Yeah, just because she gave a positive review at first doesn't mean she can't change her mind. That's my perspective as well. Let's read one of the positive reviews. You know, we want to make sure that we're seeing everything for what it is. So let's go into the 5-star section and see what someone says. Just to be fair. Okay. I have worked with Michelle for a number of years now on different topics. I could not speak more highly of her. She has a knack for getting straight to the issue and seeing things you can't. She doesn't give you the answers, but helps you realize you have the answers inside you already. Technically, that's what a coach should be doing. She brings out the best in her clients and deeply cares about their needs and celebrates their successes. She challenges you where you need to be challenged and supports you and guides you every step of the way to help your confidence grow from the inside out. She is genuinely one of the most brilliant, honest, caring women I have had the pleasure of working with. If anyone being coached by Michelle doesn't succeed, it certainly wouldn't be through Michelle's lack of commitment and dedication to her clients. It would be because the client themselves wasn't prepared to put in the hard work and commitment that is needed to take their business to the next level. This sounds like it came straight out of the How to Gaslight Clients 101. Also notice how it's from customer. That seems not very legitimate, in my opinion. But like her husband wrote this or something. Okay, I did want to read the 3-star review because that's like, I feel like that'll be pretty telling. I have worked with, oh no, that's not the right one. Oh, there isn't a 3-star review. It says there is. Oh, okay, get rid of that maybe. Here we go. I was pleased with the structure of the course and offered support at the beginning. I learned a lot of new information, tools, and tips. However, it lacked a genuine/personal touch. I met lots of amazing ladies, and I'm truly grateful for that, but that's not why I signed up for this course. This is another person saying the same thing. I was under the impression that I will be personally working with Michelle. Instead, it was only 2 times one-on-one sessions, which for me was not enough to reach the potential that I'm sure this course has. While group coaching can be super beneficial, 30 people in a group is too big to deliver promised results. Also, there were a lot of women from different stages in their journey, which divided the focus. I don't yet see an ROI. That's super interesting that 2 different people a year apart from each other are saying the same thing. I would be really curious to know what the marketing was for this particular program at this time, because if everyone is thinking that they're going to get one-on-one support, but then they're not, curious as to where that miscommunication is coming from. She doesn't give you the answers because she actually doesn't have any. That made me fun. That made me fun. That made me fun. That made me... Guys, I'm hallucinating. Oh my God, I'm delusional. That sounds like a plant. That's exactly what I was thinking. The positive review was written by Michelle in a wig wearing sunglasses. Yikes. I mean, that's the hard thing with like any of these. Trustpilot. I don't know how Trustpilot works actually specifically, but when I was working on, or I kind of still am, but it's on the back burner. I'm still paying every month for it, but I haven't worked on it in the last couple of months. But I started building a website called reviewmymentor.com. I can just show you guys. Where I was getting people to submit their feedback on coaches, similar to the structure of Trustpilot, but in the submission, it's encrypted. You have to upload proof of purchase. So you have to upload like a receipt or a contract or something that shows me that you actually paid for this person's program. And yes, sure, people could go through the effort of doctoring something up and making a fake receipt, whatever. But with things like Trustpilot, I don't know if like literally just anyone can write a review. That's why even with Reddit sometimes I'm like, I don't know how legitimate this experience is that I'm reading, because anyone could say anything. I could make an anonymous Reddit account and be like, I'm a doctor and I think blah, 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 blah. Like, just because I say I'm a doctor doesn't make me a doctor. You know what I mean? So it's hard to know when we see negative reviews if that person was genuinely in the program, if they just got pissed off so they got everyone they know to write a negative review. There's so much that could potentially be going on here. So just how we say like positive reviews are fake, potentially the negative ones could be fake as well. It's really hard to know. So I don't know. If anyone knows, let me know. If you know me, no. Do you have to show like proof of purchase before you leave someone a review on Trustpilot? Because I would be curious to know. I want to read this one. It's from 3 days ago. Do not deal with this woman. She is a scam/con artist. Michelle is very good at manipulating women and getting money for her shambles of a service. She will promise the world and deliver a diabolical service, then threaten you if you dare to challenge her. The positive reviews are fake. Do not get pulled in. Okay. What else do we have? 4 stars. What made you lose a star? I grew so much personally on this course, and for that I will be forever grateful. You must commit to do the work yourself and be realistic about what you can achieve as the growth continues after the course. The women and coaches I met drew me to such a positive energy. It's magnetic now, and it just keeps expanding. Overall, I'm glad I came across. And then why is it only 4 stars? If you're so happy, why didn't you give her 5 stars? Questions I want to know the answer to. I'm leaning into believing that some of the negative reviews, because we spent 45 minutes listening to her nonsense, true. I would not be surprised how bad the coaching would be. She didn't even deliver us a spell, so I believe her, exactly. Oh, I can't believe in that entire 45 minutes, well, I mean I can, because we've seen so much nonsense on this channel, but every time I am still shocked when someone says they're going to do something and then we spend 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours watching and they don't do the thing they say they were going to do. Okay. Well, that's just complete nonsense. We can keep reading reviews if you guys want. I have another live stream from this woman if you want to watch it. Or we can sign off. What's the vibe, everybody? Also, give the stream a thumbs up if you haven't yet, okay? Thanks. I'm just going to sit here while you guys tell me in the chat what you want. Question for the channel members. I have Coach Miss Day 1 locked and loaded. It's ready to be released. Do you want it a couple days early, channel members? Or do you want to wait till Wednesday? Because obviously it comes out Thursday, but you get it a day in advance. Would you like it 2 days in advance? Almost 3 days in advance? Let me know. And we can make it happen. Some people just won't give 5 stars. I've gotten reviews in my shop that say things like, it was great, 4 stars. I've always wondered that because I'm the opposite. Fun fact about me is that I've written over 400 Google reviews. And I always give every single place 5 stars, unless I have a bad experience. And even then, I usually give like 3 stars. So I always find it interesting when I read reviews of people being like, this coffee shop is so amazing. Their croissant is the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. 4 stars. I'm like, what do you consider 5 stars then? Because to me, if I have a good time, 5 stars. Yeah, Suzanne says, what's happening with Coach Miss? Jinx! Okay, so if you guys want it early, once I'm done with the stream, all I have to do is go into the studio and switch it to public, or not public, private, members only, and then channel members will have it for a few days ahead of schedule. I'm going to warn you all now, because I know myself. I'm going to try my best to release the Coach Miss series a day in advance to all channel members, but at some point along the way, we might not make it. I'm hanging on by a thread here. So we're going to try our best and see how it goes. But I can give you at least day one a few days early. Thank you so much, Amy. Amy says, your dogs make better coaches than these people. Bubba will soon be recruiting for his new pyramid of how to become the laziest you. The laziest version of yourself that you could ever possibly be. Suzanne says, ASAP! Okay. When I get off stream, I will put it live, which for you is perfect because it's morning, so you got all day to watch it. I can wait. It's okay. Too bad we're already doing it. Harrison says, early Christmas tree. Just for that $1.99, you can have your video a day early. Or 2 days early. A day and a half, technically. Okay. Amy says, keep going. So, I can put this lady back on the screen if that's what you want. I also see Hillary is sending me some stuff right now. So let's see if there's anything good in my Instagram DMs. Interesting. Okay, I feel like this will be for another day based on that message. So let's just, we'll watch this, we'll keep watching this lady, and if she makes me want to rip my ears out of my head, we'll stop. My cat would like to join your dog's MLM. Oh, my cat is also going to be part of this, how to be really lazy, because he is really lazy too. Okay, put Hocus Pocus back on. Here we go. I'm going to speed her up to 1.5 this time, because when I did it at the end of the other one, it wasn't too bad. She talks pretty slow, so let's see how this goes. I can probably skip through the first 5 minutes because she's just going to talk to the people in the chat, I'm guessing. So let's just go like here and see what happens.
Years ago now, good morning, Chrissy. I started out by being introduced to manifestation, and it just felt true to me in some way. Good morning, Joanne. Yes, I can see you. I can see you coming. So it felt true. It just really felt like a yes. For me, as I was reading this book, my first book, it was like, yeah, like I recognise that I feel more in control than other people might have me think. Good morning, Sharon. I feel like there's a part of me that can create my own reality. Like it just felt like a yes. And you know what a yes feels like? It feels like expansion. It feels like something that makes you feel expanded and good. And even if it's a bit out your comfort zone and it makes you feel a little bit nervous, like a bit like riding a really exciting roller coaster, you know, it's like, oh, this is going to be exhilarating, but oh my God, yeah. It feels a bit like that. That's what a yes feels like generally. Some yeses feel more comfortable than others. And another.
Okay, she's talking way faster this time, so I'm going to slow it down.
Oh, feels retracted. It makes you feel like a shrinking feeling. And I tell you this because being able to discern between your soul yes and your soul no is such a huge part of practicing as a witch and using witch.
Erin wants to know, how will we know what emoji to put if we skip the first few minutes? It's the poop emoji. It's always the poop emoji. So if you are ready to get rich, drop a poop emoji in the chat. And I will say just this.
Raise your hand if you want to get rich.
Raise your hand if you want to get rich, because we're about to do it together.
Witchcraft, because a spell in itself isn't just going to bring you magically everything that you want. You know, if it was that easy, there would be so many rich witches and rich magicians and rich wizards, wouldn't there? Like, you know, all these people that are deeply, deeply spiritual would be the richest among society right now if it was that easy. But it's actually the opposite, isn't it, if we look at the world? I mean, be honest, and I asked this question on a worksheet.
What if the truly spiritual people weren't willing to scam other people out of their money and that's why they're not rich? Just a guess, just a guess. I could be wrong, but what if?
Workshop that I did a few months ago, back in like springtime now actually, and there was a lot of people in the room, and I said to them, there's probably over 1,000 people in the room, and I said, how many of you can think of 3 people that you know that are outwardly practicing magic, like resonate with the word witch, or deeply, deeply spiritual person, you know, the sort of person that when you're in their presence, you know that you're in the presence of someone that really energetically has their shit together. How many people can you count that you know like that are seriously wealthy? Like, seriously wealthy. Not like they do all right. Like, they have the houses that you drive past and go, wow, that's beautiful. They go on the trips that there's no expenses spared to see the world. And I don't even mean flashy, extravagant wealth necessarily, because that might not float your boat. But they are a representation of financial wealth and deeply grounded in their spiritual practice. How many do you know? Probably not many. And do you know, a lot of people in the room was like, I only know you, Michelle, which is very flattering, but that is actually a practicing witch that talks about magic, that puts magic and spirituality first, but not to the detriment of money, and still has the financial abundance as well. They couldn't think of anybody else, and that made me, it probably should make me go, oh, that's quite nice, but it didn't. It made me really, really sad. Because that's not the way we want the world to be, right? We want it to be the opposite to that. We want the people that deeply care about people, the people that feel connected to everything, the people that know the power of energy, the people that are consciously connected to the earth, you know? All those people are the ones we want to have the money and the resources to do good in the world, right?
But maybe, guys, this is a wild idea, but what if here in the real world, we actually can't just magically think our way into being wealthy, and we have to do this thing? Oh my God, guys. I learned about this thing. It's called hard work, and apparently if you do it, you can make money. So I'm thinking about trying it myself, personally. But what if we lived in a world where actually working was how we generated wealth, rather than just like sitting around and believing that we are worthy and deserving of making money? What if we actually like took action to make money? Let me know in the chat if that sounds too crazy, because I know it's like kind of out there as an idea. But I'm just thinking that if I look around and I see these people who are wealthy and they seem to be doing well, I'm thinking maybe they actually worked to make that money. I'm thinking maybe they didn't just like do a little magical ritual to become wealthy. But let me know what you guys think, because I might be totally off base here, but that's just something that I've been thinking about lately. So let me know.
That's what we want. So it means changing things. It means shifting things. And your role in that is huge. Your role, like I said last week, in stepping up and claiming your place and of power and wealth and abundance, and then being a beacon of light for anybody else that's watching that might think that if you're spiritual, you have to sacrifice everything you own, be shoeless, run around bare feet and live in a cave, then because that's not very inspiring for most people, right? So they choose a different path. But if you step up and you show them actually you can have it all, then you create a ripple effect that you will never know. You'll never know the reach of it. You'll never know. It's just huge. And that's what these sessions are about. But it's also about giving you some practical tools to do it. Because the first step is feeling like you can. You know, that's huge. And I want you to get all those feels from our time together in whatever capacity, whether it's like this, whether it's in one of our bigger events that we've got coming up actually. So keep your eyes peeled, because we're going to be announcing that in the next few weeks. Or whether it's working with me personally and more intimately. Like, the first step is getting you to feel different, getting you to believe and lean into the fact that my life can be really different really quick. My financial position can be really different really quick, and I can make an impact bigger than I've ever thought possible without sacrificing my witchy.
Don't worry, Figgy, it's coming soon. I will be launching my course in 2025 called How to Work Hard and Make Money. And I'm going to give you guys a discount for being early adopter YouTube super fans. So for you guys, the price will just be 1111, 44 payments of that price, okay? Instead of 55 payments, which is what the price everyone else gets.
Right, it's all the things that are really, really important to me. Spellcasting is going to help you do that, but it's what's wrapped around the spell that's going to help you really do that. Because like I said before, if it was as simple of just getting a magic book and reading the spell and doing some incantations and maybe getting a little cauldron and whipping up some herbs, then everybody would be really, really wealthy. Now, thank God it's not that easy, because if it was that easy, then the power and wealth that can be created from a really good vibration could be really, really abused if it was that easy. So we need to be thankful that it's not that easy, right? Because imagine a world where everybody could just easily, I mean, think of some of the worst people that you know that you just think, oh my gosh, they're terrible now. Imagine them with power, imagine them with money. You know, we don't want that. So I think it's really good actually that magic and witchcraft requires you. It requires of you, and it's no accident, is it? Because everything's divinely perfect. It requires you to really connect with yourself, the real you, the soul you. It requires you to really connect with the energies around you. And it requires you to know that that connection is all that matters and be able to use it. Now, when we do that, when we tap in with the soul us, we can do no harm. because the soul part of us doesn't have all the baggage and shit that makes humans not very nice sometimes.
Okay, that's super dangerous to think that you can do no harm. I feel like as I was watching this, I'm literally thinking to myself, like, does this woman genuinely believe what she's saying right now? But now to me, it's like a little bit scary, because if she truly believes that she can do no harm, when is she ever going to have that like awakening moment where she's like, holy shit, if all my clients are coming to me telling me they're not getting results, she's never going to have that moment of like, maybe I'm not doing the right thing. Maybe I'm causing harm. Maybe I need to reevaluate my approach. I can't believe she just said that.
When we connect with the earth and we connect with everybody in it and the energies around us, we realise that we're part of this vast, beautiful consciousness that where everything is really alive.
Boo! Katie says, sorry, I'm late. I was working my job because I'm not rich enough to quit. Well, maybe you should have come early so you could learn the spells to getting rich, because now we're all going to be rich and you're going to be poor. So sucks to be you.
And we just become more respectful of it, become more respectful of our impact on it. So as a byproduct of all this beautiful work, we get to grow our wealth in a way that sees us grow it in a really kind of conscious and in a way that doesn't deplete anything in order for us to have more. Is this all making sense? Please let me know if this is making sense in the chat box. If you think,
not.
Yes, Michelle, you are talking sense, then I want you to go and find the witch emoji for me now. And just pump that witch emoji and keep it coming in the comments. Keep that witch emoji coming in the comments whenever you have a moment where you're like, that's connected with my inner witch. And what I mean by that is that feels like a yes for me. Like, my inner witch is speaking, whether you call it soul, inner witch, it doesn't matter. When you connect with that, if I say something that makes you go, yes, I really want to see it in the comments, because I want to know what you're connecting with, what you're not connecting with, so I can keep shaping these sessions every week to be more and more in line with what you need and want. So let's get into spellcasting.
Once again, she has the radio or whatever playing in the background. Turn it off. Turn it off. If you're going to go live on Facebook, especially if you're not using a mic to isolate the sound, close the door. Go to a room that doesn't have a fucking radio playing. It's driving me crazy. Ah!
I'm going to share an actual, thank you, Bex. I'm going to share an actual real life spell with you that I'm about to cast myself tomorrow.
Okay, she keeps saying she's going to teach us a spell. Katie, for context, we just watched a 45-minute live stream where she literally did not teach us a single thing. It said it was going to teach us a spell. It didn't. Every time she got close to teaching us something, she went on a tangent. So I'm not holding my breath.
Thank you, Cheryl. So this is the spell that I'm currently working on. And when I say currently working on, here's what I mean by that. There's 3 stages to spell casting. Grab a pen and paper if it's appropriate to now. If not, come back to this. At a point when you can. Still listen, of course, but maybe come back again and just make some notes. And don't forget to keep those witchy emojis coming if I'm saying something that makes you go, yes, that feels true. So spellcasting is split into 3 processes. Well, this is at least how I practice it in my own life and how I've taught it to so many other people that have been so successful in using it. And hey, Karen, good morning. How are you, my love? Thank you. Really, really nice to see you. So these are the 3 sections. There's crafting, the crafting stage, crafting the spell. There's the casting stage, casting the spell. And then there's the unfolding of it. So here's what that looks like. The crafting is about crafting the perfect spell for you. And this is why I don't believe in just handing someone spell books. This is why when you're in the Wake Your Witch experience, for example, that some of you I know are already waiting to start in January, you are guided in crafting, with me personally, the perfect spell for the thing that you're needing the most in that moment. And this is why a lot of people need support in that in the beginning, but you won't always. There comes a point in your practice where you're like, I know what I need, I know what spell I need, and then you can go and craft it for yourself. But the reason the crafting stage is so important is because it coincides with the goal setting process. You cannot just be like, right, oh yeah, a money spell, yeah, I want more money, I'll just do that spell for more money. Because nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. I would be amazed if there'd be any shifts. If you want more money right now, which most people do, you go online, go and Google a money spell now, you'll find some. Go on YouTube, there'll be someone there with one. Go and buy a spell book for not very much on Amazon, and there'll be money spells in there. And do them. If you don't believe me, sit, do them, buy all the things it tells you to buy in them, and go and practice one. And see if your financial position changes any. Now, for most people, it really, really won't. I'd be very surprised if it did. And you might be thinking, well, Michelle, you're a witch, practice witchcraft, talks about magic, talks about spells, so you're now saying they don't work. Like, this feels really confusing. And I understand that too. But here's why. It's because the crafting of the spell, which happens before the spell, and the unfolding of the spell, which happens when you've cast it, are actually 2 of the big pieces of the puzzle that most people miss out, and they just jump straight to the spell bit, do the spell, and then think, right, where's my money? And it doesn't work like that. No different to the law of attraction. In its simple form says that when you think about something, you're going to receive it. And it's just not true, is it? And if it was, we could all sit here now going, big pink elephant, big pink elephant, big pink elephant. And thank the Lord there's not a big pink elephant that's just landed in my office. Imagine some of the worst things possible that we would call into our lives really quick. Not just the good things, you know, it's just more complex than that. And so is spellcasting. We need to give it the respect it deserves. So the crafting stage. Now, when I'm doing this properly, so bear in mind, I've got a really small window of time every week to teach you something that makes a big difference. I haven't got the window of love to get my hands on you and like do all this in the detail that it deserves.
I'm so bored.
I'm going to try and give.
Oh my God, I can't. Guys, I gotta skip ahead. She is driving me crazy. She's taking so long to get to the point. Just teach me the spell.
I do in person actually with my strategy and stay clients who come and stay with me on the VIP days of the day. But you might have your own goal setting process that you use and that you like using. But this is the point that I do it every year on purpose, because it's the point when I have the most vision, clear vision and clarity of what it is I want my business, not just my business, my entire life, but how the business weaves into that, to look like for the next 12 months.
How many people do I want to scam in 2025? Let me visualize. 222, because I did the math earlier, and to make $1 million selling a $4,500 program, I got to dupe 222 people. So I'm going to visualize myself scamming, get into the energy. All I got to do, 222 people. You better watch out. I'm coming for your wallets.
So it's where I've got really, really specific. How do I want to feel when running my business? These are questions that we need to be asking, because it's not just all about the money, is it? None of us just want millions and millions coming in and to feel like shit, you know? So my first question is, how do I want to feel when I'm running it? And then what type of people do I want to be surrounded with? What do I want relationships like in my business to be? My relationships with my team who support the business and help it thrive, relationships that I have with my clients. What type of clients do I want to work with over the next 12 months? What's going to feel like absolute joy for me? It's not just 10 clients. You know, if that's the only intention, if you've got for your business, I want 10 clients by a miss. Anyone will do? I don't think so. No, absolutely not. When it comes to energy and an exchange of energy, as a witch, it's everything. Everyone you surround yourself with is intentional. That's why there's an application process for everybody I work with, because I'm feeling into who they are as a person. Are we vibing? Should we be together right now? Is this a natural next step for you in your journey? But does it also support mine? Like, this is like it's got to work for both of us.
So how many people are you turning away? That's what I want to know, because from what I've seen, most people are only using those little application forms like the one we looked at on her website, so that they can figure out what your pain points are, so that when you get on a sales call with her or her team, they can then use what you wrote in that form against you. Because if I fill out a form and I say, I'm really struggling to get clients, I feel like I'm not getting enough leads to my business, they're going to go, how would it feel to just learn a system that brings in infinite leads so you never have to worry about where you're getting your next client from? I'm going to be thinking, that's the exact problem I'm facing. How did they know? Oh my God, they have the perfect solution. We must be a perfect fit. It was meant to be. It was universally divine. It's a sign from the universe, from God, from whoever. I would hazard to guess she's not turning away too many people that fill out that application. She wants to frame it as though she's using it to make sure she's finding the right fit. But instead, what she's using it for, probably, likely, allegedly, in my opinion, is to figure out how she can make it the right fit for you.
About, you know, really unpicking every aspect. How do I want it to feel? What the relationship's going to look like? How much money do I want to earn in the next 12 months? But why? Why? And this is a good place where you could do like 7 layers of why. And that's where you go, oh, okay, I want 30 grand a month. Say that's your goal. 30 grand a month coming in 3 days a week. And I use that example as a lot, because it was a woman that I worked with that came to me with that goal and said, I want 30 grand a month in 3 days. After some time of unpicking what she didn't want, we got to the clarity of that. And that meant the world to her. And she's doing more than that now, in fact. But she was someone that was working 6 days a week for like less than 5 grand some months a month. So to go to 3 days a week and 30 grand felt to her like, how's that even going to be possible? Because the belief system was, for me to have more, I've got to do more, and I've got nothing left, right? So when we're goal setting, we have to unpick all this stuff. It's not.
Exactly, Monica. Monica says she would not turn away a client with potential money. That's exactly how I see it, or how I have seen it from so many of these coaches. The point of the form isn't to figure out if you're a right fit. It's to figure out how they can convince you you're a right fit.
It's not just about putting pen to paper and saying, oh, this is what I want. Because if there's no belief, conviction and fire and unpacking of the resistance and beliefs underneath it, then you're just going to set goals for the sake of setting them, and they're not going to be really powerful. So, you know, let's say your goal is 30 grand a month and it's in 3 days. Why? Why is that important? Well, because if I have that, I'll have more time. Why? Why is more time important? Because if I have more time, I can be with my children. Why do you want to be with your children? Well, I want to spend more quality time. Then why do you want to spend more quality time with them? Well, actually, I want to be able to educate them at home. Bang. And this was one of the examples from a previous client that I worked with when we got drilled into it.
Exactly. So that client wrote that in that form probably. I want to be able to work from home and take care of my kids. Now I can use this to convince you to buy my program. Shady, 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 shady.
She was like, that's the reason. It's because I feel like I'm sending them to school 5 days a week. And this isn't right for everybody. This was her truth. But I feel like I'm sending them to school 5 days a week and not seeing them because that's what people do. But it doesn't feel right for me. And I keep doing it because I feel like I need the childcare, because if I don't run the business, I've got no money. But actually, that's not me having it all. Because in a not having it all world, I would be with my children, homeschooling them most of the time, in less than traditional ways, off travelling, doing all these things, enjoying life. And then I'd have 3 days in the office where I had that time for me to do the work that I love, and I'd be earning 30 grand doing it and would be able to pay for it, blah, blah, blah. Why? Because if you just set goals at the superficial level of like, yeah, that'd be nice, you know, they really lack the excitement, the power, and all of that energy that you bring to the spell casting that happens next is what makes the spell potent. Because a spell that lacks energy, belief, conviction, excitement, and all of those things isn't even a spell at all, because it lacks all of the energy that's needed to amplify it and make it really, really powerful. Well, like, you know, you see the witch around the cauldron conjuring up something. We are doing that. The cauldron's just become like a false, like, icon really of something that's genuine in terms of we are conjuring up energy. That's what we're doing when we're creating a spell. So, and again, if I'm saying things that are resonating with you guys, keep those witchy emojis coming. Don't forget to tell me, because it helps me to understand what's hitting the mark. But that's what we're doing. We're conjuring up energy. So it starts pre-spell. At this point, when I'm working with someone closely and I've assisted them with that goal setting and clarity piece, so we know exactly what they want and why they want it, and they've connected with it, and now they've got all the feels. You know, they feel different. They're like, this is a different process than before. This isn't like last year when I set my goals and I felt like, oh, yeah, I've written it down, but I don't think I can do it. We've unpacked the resistance. We've done the work, and I feel different. Now we're ready. And it's at that point where I go, okay, now I know everything there is to know about all shades of you, and now I can select the perfect spell. And sometimes that is 3 spells and making a combination of them, you know. And this is why you only should really need to cast spells a couple of times a year. This isn't about, oh, I've got a spell every week going on. You're going to be depleting the earth to do that, because if you're using crystals and you're going to crystal shops and just buying, where are all those things coming from? I'll talk to you about more of that in a minute. But it just ends up becoming take in a different way. And I understand that's not most people's intention, but that is what happens. And we just end up throwing loads of spells out there and seeing what sticks, but none of them end up really working. So this way, we select the perfect spell. And this is the spell casting part, okay? So I'm going to, bear in mind, there might be some stuff that comes up in that process of getting clear on what you want that needs addressing before you're ready to cast.
She's been talking for 25 minutes and she still hasn't told the spell. Meanwhile, she said 10 minutes ago she was going to teach us the spell. Where's the spell, lady? I'm waiting. Hello?
Cast a spell. Because it might be like, I've got to make room for this newness to come in, and actually it's being clogged up with all the stagnant stuff that's not serving me. It's a little bit like an energy detox, or even a physical detox.
Wake me up
sometimes.
when we get to the
People say to me
spell.
when they're going through the goal setting process, do you know what, just realise if I go into next year with that relationship, it's going to pull me back like it did last year. I've got to remove that person, or I've got to stop practicing business in that way. That strategy's not serving me. I've got to switch that. Like, we start to clear out. How good do you feel when you go through your wardrobe and do this physically? I don't know if any.
I'm bored too. Let's skip ahead. I'm like, she's not getting to the point anytime soon. I want to learn the spell. I just want to get rich and I want to go to bed. Like, hello?
The new moon phase. It's not quite new moon yet. We've got about 4 days to new moon, but anything 3 days either side is a new moon phase. This is the first Thursday of the new moon, which is when this spell needs to be cast. So you probably aren't going to be, you might have some of these things that you need to cast the spell at home already, which means you can do it tomorrow as well. But you might need to wait till the next new moon, the next new moon phase, and the first Thursday of the next moon phase. Write that down so you remember. But that's okay, because it gives you some time to prepare. And you need that time, like I was just saying, about the goal setting process that comes first. You unpack for me, or I'm doing something with a client. And
Okay, here we go. We got some herbs or something.
it was like on a big shelf, like potions, which would be my dream, but it's just not practical at the moment. But you can see, like, I just have these little things, like that's St. John's wort, lavender, and I just collect them. And you know, these are all herbs that, you know, they're all common herbs. Mint there. Sometimes if I'm doing a recipe, like cooking something, and I order fresh herbs that week, anything that's left over, I just pop them in, dry them out and pop them in my little baggy bags. And then generally, if I need to perform a spell for me, or I'm doing something with a client, then I've normally got something adequate for it, because you just collect it over time, so you don't have to worry about going and buying like loads of stuff all in one. You only need a little one. Most crystals, don't forget we're drawing on the crystal's energy. So we're drawing on the bay leaf's energy, the crystal's
Wait, wasn't she talking shit about crystals in the last live stream? Now we're using crystals?
energy. I'll tell you why peridot in a minute. But, and it's spelled like this, by the way. See that? Just in case you were wondering. We're drawing on their energy, so their energy needs to be as pure as it can be. So when you bring a crystal into your home, generally crystals aren't very happy. Like if you sit and hold it in your hand and just kind of, like you just vibed into your own energy, if you just hold a crystal in your hand and close your eyes and have a minute with it and feel, like, ask questions like, how are you feeling? Most of them aren't very happy because they've just been like ripped out of the ground for the purpose of being sold for money without a lot of intention. So there normally needs to be some sort of like cleansing process there. You could use sage, for example, or sometimes you might want to charge them under like a full moon. And ultimately just giving them lots of love and gratitude and letting them know that they have purpose, they're going to be used for a great purpose, communicating that purpose to them, you know, just like doing a bit of a cleanse and almost like building a relationship with your tools, you know. It's not as simple as, right, got that crystal, got that leaf.
Oh my god, just give me the freaking recipe, lady. Okay, what's this? A pencil?
For this spell, I just use these candles. I have like a big pack of them in all different colours, so whatever spell it calls for, I've got one. But you could use a tea light, you know, it doesn't matter, either is fine. And a purple baggie. Obviously purple is the sign of abundance, prosperity. And putting it in a bag kind of locks in the energy of the spell, and you're going to leave this
does it?
business premises. If you're like me,
Erin, if you're still here, is this true? Do I have to put all my herbs and materials in a bag to lock the spell in? Let me know.
You don't really have one fixed business premises because you travel a lot, or then you could have it, like mine, for example, this, when the spell's set and everything's in here, will be taped into my planner for 2025 in the back of that because it goes everywhere with me.
I wonder if she has an Amazon storefront where you can buy all these materials.
Whenever I'm doing business, it's out on the table. So it's, I'm carrying that energy with me on the go. But you could put it somewhere in your office if that feels better for you. So here's what we're going to do. That's all you need. So just a quick reminder, purple bag.
Okay, so we're almost 40 minutes in, and we might actually learn how to cast a spell, finally.
Purple candle.
Get your bag, your
Bay
candle,
leaves,
bay leaves,
peridot crystal,
peridot crystal,
black marker pen.
and a black marker.
Here's what we're going to do.
And this is what
on
we're
the
going to do.
Thursday, it must be a Thursday. Must be a Thursday. Thursday, why Thursday as well? Thursday is really significant in terms of Thursday's in alignment with Jupiter energy. So it's all about expansion, and going into the new moon is about, you know, planting.
Monica says, I use some herbs for cooking purposes. Would those herbs work? She did say when she's cooking and she has leftover herbs, she uses them. So I think that's fair game.
Seeds that then will expand into that waxing stage of the moon when it's going into full moon. So that's why we do it Thursday.
All right, I volunteer Katie as tribute to follow this spell and let us know how rich she gets.
First Thursday of a new moon, okay? And it doesn't need to be, when you're looking at the moon cycles, if you've got like an app or whatever to do that, it hasn't got to be done on a Thursday that happens to be the new moon, because you could be waiting for that for some months. It's the first Thursday of a moon cycle, so it could be 3 days before or 3 days after the new moon, okay? So like it would be tomorrow if you were performing it with me tomorrow. And here's what we're going to do. It's really, really simple. You've got your goal setting process. You're going to find a sacred space. And when I say a sacred space, you might have an altar. If you don't have an altar set up, that's okay. It might just be an area in your home that feels really, you know, it just needs to feel like a nice space. And you're going to set the scene. I like to do these things at night because I like to have the lights down. And just put everything that you need, all your apparatus in one place. That's all you need to do. If you want some like low-level lighting, maybe some soft music playing. What music gets you going though? Is it?
Can you imagine if this woman is in an MLM? She's using Scentsy candles, doTERRA oils. That would actually be so funny.
Like shamanic drumming? Is it some binaural beats? Might even just be like some meditation music. Anything that's just going to really center you and ground you into the present moment. I like to do some breathing exercises before casting a spell to really amp up my own energy. If you have any breathwork practices to do, great. Breathwork's a huge part of what I do with people to help them to get in control of their energy. It's one of the fastest ways to bring about alignment. So yeah, if you've got a breathwork practice, great. If not, go and find one. Something that's just going to bring you really, really, really grounded and really present. Then you start the spell casting. And the first step in that is calling forward this goal setting vision, this vision that you've created from your goals. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to sit there reading all your goals. But what you want to do is take your goals and maybe think of one vision that really is the the kind of example of you living that reality. So if it's one vision, it could be you in a particular scene in your mind. It could be a word. It could be...
Guys, you can do this without the herbs and spices. You can sit down. I know this sounds crazy, but you could sit down when we get off stream and you could grab a pen and a paper and you could write down one goal that you want to achieve in the next 12 months, and you could close your eyes and you could picture yourself achieving that goal. And that's it. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do all this fancy schmancy candle bag bay leaf nonsense. Like, why?
You know, something that you can call upon that just represents all of those goals, and it reminds you of what they are and how they make you feel. Does that make sense? Tell me if it's making sense. Give me some witchy emojis if it's making sense. If it's not, ask. If you've got questions.
Exactly. OMG, all of this for visualization. Like, why can't we just do a visualization exercise? Why we gotta make it all crazy?
Then just put a question mark and I'll come to you. Because we're going into this process conjuring up the energy for that vision, and that's really, really important that we're holding that vision for the business that we have in our mind. And then we're going to use the marker, and you're going to write on the bay leaf. So you're going to want to choose a bay leaf that's whole and quite large, not one that's like ripped up, because you're going to write on it. You're going to write the name of your business or project, or maybe it's your offer. So for me, the big thing that I'm focusing on next year, being the absolute best it can be, is Wake Your Witch, the experience. So I would write Wake Your Witch experience, and then the word success on the bay leaf. So the name of your project, business, or offer.
Okay, I'm actually not understanding how this is different than just like writing it in your journal. Maybe because I don't believe in spells. Is that the problem? Because I'm like, what's the point of making this so much more complicated and having to buy all these extra materials when I already have a pen and paper where I could be visualizing what I want by just writing down on a piece of paper that I want my business to be successful? Like, what's the point?
And then you're going to place that bay leaf with your crystal on top that you've already done this prep work with the crystal. You've already cleansed it, communicated with it, built the relationship, made it a happy crystal. Pop the crystal on top of the bay leaf. You're going to light the candle, purple candle, and then you're going to say your incantation. Now, when I'm doing an incantation is basically like an affirmation. It's a charged intention that you're charging and kind of amplifying in that spellcasting moment.
Okay, this is just like NLP 101.
And using your different tools. And remember, some of them are invisible. You're using the moon phase, you're using the day of the week. You know, there's things that you're using the position of Jupiter because of the day of the week. You're using the bay leaf, you're using the peridot, you use it. So you're amplifying this intention, okay? So your incantation is basically your intention. So you could say something like, my energy is alive. This business will thrive. My energy is alive. This business will thrive. From above and below, I am blessed. Reminding you that you're connected to the earth and the sky, the moon. Surround me now with success. But it's really important you choose the words that are important to you. Something doesn't resonate, don't say it, because it's just going to create a resistance and a blocking your energy. So
don't worry, Katie. I'm going to watch the replay. Katie says, I can't believe you're not writing this down. I don't need to write it down when I can just listen to this woman on replay for the rest every day. Every day I'm going to listen to that and I'm going to recite it and I'm going to write on my bay leaf and light it on fire. Like, why do we have a candle? This sounds dangerous.
You could repeat that. You could repeat something different. You might say something more specific. Like, I am charging my energy with my intention of it is done. It is done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, some people will go down that road, and that feels really good to thank in advance and know it's done. It's done. Thank you.
Rhyming is more powerful.
Aren't so much important. What's important is that you say,
I believe it to be true, and that's why I will be richer than you. I believe it to be true. That's why I will be richer than you. Guess what, losers? I'm going to be richer than you because I said it out loud. All I got to do is find a bay leaf in my cabinet and write on it and light it on fire. And then I'll be richer than you.
Say them 7 times. There's a lot of meaning in the number 7 as well. The number 7 holds a lot of vibration. But it also, while staring into the flame of the purple candle, which you'd have lit at this point, I think I've already said that, apologies if I didn't. by kind of being really grounded, staring into the flame, repeating that intention and holding that vision that you've got, that you've done from the goal setting process, and filling yourself up with the feelings that you're going to feel when it's all achieved, and then using the incantation that you've decided 7 times, it just kind of really anchors in that intention, anchors it in. And then what you're going to do, now you can, there's 1 or 2 ways you could do this, do whatever feels good for you. You could wait for the candle to burn down. Some people like to wait for the candle to burn down completely. Maybe use a tea light if you're going to do that, because it might take some time. Or
We're gonna wait. How many hours would that take to wait for the candle to burn down completely? Even a tea light candle, you would be sitting there for like an hour waiting for the more than an hour. I'm gonna Google it. How long does a tea light candle take to burn out? Like I don't know how much time this lady has on her hands, but I do not have time to watch a candle burn completely. How long does a tea light burn? 3 to 4 hours, up to 6 hours. Honey, I don't have 6 hours to repeat myself over and over and over. Exactly. I never knew I was too lazy for witchcraft. I absolutely count me out. I got better things to do than sit in a dark room with a candle for 6 hours and repeat it over and over and over again. That is crazy. Yeah, your business will burn down waiting for the ritual to end. I got emails to answer. I got videos to edit. I don't have time to stare at a candle for 6 hours. Are you kidding? She should have told me that. I would have wasted 50 minutes watching this video, because I know now I don't have time for this witchcraft stuff.
you could, after doing that 7 times, end it with maybe it is done, blow out the candle. You're going to put the bay leaf and the crystal into the bag, seal it up, and then place that somewhere in your place of work, charged with the energy. That's the spellcasting.
Okay, this reminds me, I have a confession, guys. Okay, whew. So back when I first started my business, it wasn't even when I first started, it was, I was still working with my first coach, but I was living in an apartment. So it must have been, I want to say like maybe September of 2018. My coach was like big on crystals and that sort of thing. So she actually mailed me like a gift, and part of that gift was crystals. And so one of the crystals was citrine, which is allegedly supposed to be a crystal to like help you generate wealth. And so what she had me do, I only thought of this because she said like blow out the candle, put it in the bag and leave it in your place of work. She had me take a $100 bill and put it on my desk with the citrine on top of it. And I would like stare at it every day while I was working as a way of like becoming wealthy. I was like going to not trick, but like use the power of the, I can't even say this seriously now. Use the power of the universe. The power of the universe to make me make more money because I had the money with the rock. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for the people in the chat if you believe in crystals and that kind of thing. But oh my God, I'm like, I just unlocked that memory when she said this. So embarrassing. Anyways, let me know your crystal manifestation stories in the comments. Did it work? No, it didn't. That's why it's so funny. Oh my God, I was delusional.
Ceremony done. You then need...
Janaea says, thank God, I thought you were going to say you burned the $100 bill. I actually don't know if the Canadian money is, I guess it is, it's like plastic. Our money isn't paper, it's made of plastic. So if you like put it in the dryer, it'll shrink. So I wonder if I tried to light it on fire, it would probably just melt. Did it work? No, it didn't. Oh God.
To be aware and open for the unfolding part of the process. And I'm going to talk more about that next week, because it's not done when the spell's done.
Natasha says citrine's actually for communication, not wealth. That's why you're not rich.
done when the spell's cast. What the spell's going to do is begin to...
Exactly. Meanwhile, you had $100 you weren't able to use sitting on your desk. I could have invested that and made a $10 return in the year that it sat on my desk under a rock.
set in motion the reorganization of the universe for it to come into fruition. And that can feel...
Oh my God, Harrison says, proof the citrine worked. Guys, I just made $2 off my $100 bill 10 years later. Guys, it's real. It's real. How do you carry plastic money? Oh, it's like flexible. I don't ever have cash. Let's see. We're in Pablo's office. Does he have cash? He's got a keyboard. Some credit cards. No cash. It's flexible like paper money, but it's made of plastic. I don't know how to explain it. But it feels similar to American money. It just, the material it's made out of isn't paper.
A mixture of things that can feel really exciting. You'll suddenly see, wow, like new opportunities are opening up that weren't there before. Things are starting to move into alignment.
Thank you for the $1.99, by the way.
How weird is that? Like
I manifested that
with a client the other week, and it was around love. And literally within 12 hours, it wasn't even 12 hours because it was that night, something happened really significant. A door knocked. There was someone that came around to see her that she hadn't seen for a long time. There was a conversation. She's like, it's just blew my mind because it was a leap in progression for her in that area of her life. Equally, within another 24 hours, something else happened that felt really difficult because there was a letting go of something that wasn't serving her in order to make room for this new intention that she'd set. So you have to be prepared for that too. The unfolding of it all is like the fallout of you aligning your energy with what you want. And this is where people get really resistant sometimes because they're like, oh, no, like, I don't want change. What are you doing? Like, because your job is to surrender then. Your job, it's done. I've surrendered it. It's happening. I'm now available for it. I'm here for it. I've got to be present. I've got to be aware of how I'm feeling and how my energy dips when I'm around certain things, people, situations. What am I being called towards? What am I being repelled away from? And then act accordingly. That's the unfolding part of it. And that requires action. It requires effort. It requires change. It requires being out of your comfort zone. It requires all sorts of things that can feel really, really difficult. And we'll talk more about that next week. So next week, week 3, we're going to be talking about your route to 7-figure success. And
okay. We're probably not going to watch part 3. We're definitely not watching it today. That's enough of that for me because holy canmoly, yikes, yikes, yikes. Yikes on bikes. I did not have a good time. I did not enjoy that. And I will not be lighting any money on fire anytime soon. So let me know in the comments what you thought. I am done. I'm done. My brain is broken. In the past, I would have questioned, how do people pay her for all of this? But I have learned not to ask. Vulnerable people who are desperate to learn how to make money will spend the money they don't have on a lot of really ridiculous stuff, Monica, unfortunately. Ugh, yeah, it's hard. It's rough out there, folks. Please make smart choices. Don't give your money to strangers on the internet who are claiming to have the secrets to helping you get rich. I hope that's what you learned today. Be sure to thumbs up the stream if you haven't already. Channel members, as we play the outro, I will be unlocking day 1 of the 12 Days of Coachmas. So stay tuned for that. As always, take care, comb your hair, and I'll see you guys when I see you. I don't know if I'm going to go live next week. It'll depend how deep in the hole of editing I'm in, but stay tuned. Okay. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!